Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back to the ArchCast, where we're gonna do a normal one today. It's been, God, the last few weeks have been full of so much stuff that has required, like, specialist interventions from guests. But now we have a week where just the normal garbage of everyday existence is back, yet again, with a bevy of race swaps, corporations being assholes. The usual.
I mean, we could go and just shake V or Sargon and see if they'll jump in.
Sargon's probably
To
busy
be,
being sick.
is he sick?
He's always sick. He's children. Universally.
And to be fair, they can just jump in whenever they want anyway. I know V has several times.
Though today is a nice and simplistic day. We begin with, oh God, you know what? Top of the link channel. I already put it in there. This
Okay, let me see.
this genuinely kind of just reminds me of a more innocent time in a way, where we didn't quite know what was going on, and we were so outraged when shit like this happened, where the Boy Scouts of America is being renamed to Scouting America just to, take one more ancient institution and rename it for no particular reason other than inclusivity and diversity. We didn't understand why they were doing this. Like, okay, it's called the Boy Scouts because it's been the Boy Scouts for 100 years. You can still join if you're a girl, it's fine.
To be fair, well, first of all, it's not that ancient an institution.
Oh, it is. It actually is. It's 140
It's like 100 years, right? It's not that old.
That's pretty old.
Not in European terms, and you're European.
Yeah, but this isn't a European thing, is it?
Oh, wait, hold on. You guys in Europe don't have Boy Scouts?
We do, but ours are more along the lines of, the Hitler Youth and shit.
Ah, okay. They're not like an American import, basically?
A lot of them are, and a lot of them aren't. Like, we do have, like, scouting organizations that were basically youth clubs. But the scouts with, like, the badges and shit, I believe that's an American thing. I don't know. I've never really looked into the lore behind the Boy Scouts, if I'm to be honest.
Well, I can tell you a bit about it, because I actually was a Boy Scout, a Canadian version, when I was younger.
Were you a female
I can tell
Boy
you a
Scout?
bit about it if you want. No. So, I can tell you how it is in Canada, at least, all right? So, in Canada, you have the Scouts. They're not called the Boy Scouts. They're just called the Scouts, and they've always just been called the Scouts here in Canada. But it's still an all boys thing, all right? Because the female version are the Girl Guides. Okay.
The Girl Guides, the Girl Escorts, you might even say. I like where this is going.
Boy Scouts, Girl Guides. Those are the two. Those are the two divisions, basically. And the idea is that it's kind of military, kind of like. If you, let's say that you're a kid, you're like 9 years old, right? And you know that you're going to go into the military when you're older because you're just dead set on this path. You've always idolized them. You're interested in becoming a soldier or something. You'd probably be a Boy Scout when you're younger, right? Because generally what Boy Scouts do is they'll teach you like a lot of basic survival skills. So you learn how to like hunt and fish and tie knots and pitch a tent and build a shelter and use a compass properly, use a map properly. In the United States version, they teach you how to shoot. In the Canadian version, that's a little bit less common, but basically they teach you a bunch of those necessary basic outdoor survival skills. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And the girl version is somewhat similar. They do teach like some more domestic stuff because it was founded in the 1910s and you know how it was back then. But they also still taught girls basic survival skills as well. So it's one of those things where like it was largely considered to be just, even if you weren't going to be a soldier, right? It was considered to just be one of those wholesome youth institutions that it allowed like decent adults to mentor children and to teach them valuable life skills. It's that sort of thing, right? It's considered something that's just generally a positive impact on society.
Yeah, we have an equivalent over here, which is called Spydan. I was a member of that when I was a kid, because everyone was a member of that as a kid. Simply because here there's not a whole lot of military in it. They do teach you basic survival
Heresy's
skills
the
and stuff like
question.
that, but
Fire is the
even more
answer.
basic. Over here, it was basically just a fun, outdoorsy kind of organization where, you went outside, you made a fire, and you ate sausages and marshmallows, and that was about it.
Yep, there's a lot of that here too.
And if you
go on,
wanted to be
you go on
fancy about
camping
it,
trips and
there were like large arrangements where you could go to like proper camps and get like the marks and all of that nonsense.
oh yeah, yep, that happened too. So I don't know if what they call it over there, but here they would call it a jamboree. And a jamboree is when a whole bunch of different, I guess, chapters of the various scouts and guides groups, they would all go on one giant camping trip together and then compete in various like athletic events against each other to see who had the most fit of the various chapters. So I mean, I have like here's the thing. I joined it mainly like I wasn't ever interested in going into the military. I joined it mainly because I had friends who were in it and it sounded like it would be a fun time. And I mean, as a kid, it was pretty fun. I got to a point like when I was around like 12 years old, I kind of grew out of it, because you can keep going past that age and you can go basically until you're 17 or 18 because then you're expected to go into the military afterwards, right? But I mean, a lot of kids, they'll do like the younger version of it and then around 12 or 13, I mean, when high school starts and you're kind of doing your own thing, a lot of kids drop out of it at that point. And that's when I did as well. That's pretty normal.
Well, today the Boy Scouts are no longer teaching you how to be a military man, Dev. Today they're teaching you how to be a
Heresy's the
queermosexual.
question. Fire is the answer.
So what's really funny is I do recall there being a scandal a few years back of a whole bunch of these leaders in these scout groups. They ended up like molesting
Heresy's
kids.
The question.
Well, now
Fire
we
is
know
the
why.
answer.
So from what I've seen of this Arch, the American Boy Scouts are changing their name to Scouting America.
Yes.
Okay.
Or the Boys Scout of America, the Boy Scouts of America, which I think is their like official name.
Yeah.
They are changing their name to Scouting America. It is because they are being more inclusive, and that's literally their statement. Like, we are being inclusive by doing this. Please, don't hurt us.
Yep, fair enough. See, so the Canadian version changed its name to Scouts Canada in 1976. So they probably had a name change for a different reason. I think what it was is I think they were called Boy Scouts in the same way that the American one was. So they wanted to have some sort of legal differentiation, so they just became Scouts Canada, right? That was back in the 70s. So the Canadian one didn't do it for, let's say, inclusive reasons because there's still Girl Guides in Canada. But this is obviously happening in 2024, not 1976, so it's a bit different.
Yep. Now, the Boy Scout opened its ranks for girls 5 years ago, which, of course, unavoidably, you cannot have an exclusive institution in this day and age unless it's an exclusive institution for women, as the Girl Scouts are still a thing and they're not accepting boys. But that was the first step, of course, and that was undoubtedly the manyth step on a long way towards subverting this organization as well. And now it needs to change its names, which is one of the first changes to the organization in, again, 114 years.
Actually, I'm going to quickly look this up because I'm kind of curious here. Yeah, there still are Girl Scouts in America, aren't there?
Yeah, of course they are.
They didn't open that one up. They didn't just
Nope.
combine the two and make it unisex.
Nope. Now,
You have Scouts
be fair,
and Girl Scouts.
I'm sure the Girl Scouts are like a separate organization, so you probably can't just slap them together, because I don't think this is a government initiative or anything, is it?
No, it's not. These are all private groups.
Yeah, so there you couldn't just like hammer the two together, but no, absolutely. The Girl Scouts. The Girl Scouts are, of course, accepting girls.
Yeah,
Weirdly
and
enough.
only girls.
Yeah, strange. Odd. How unusual.
Hold on. Can you identify as one and then go in there? Or?
I don't know. Has anybody tried? Dev, application, please.
So, yeah, in Canada, it's the same organization for Boy Scouts
Heresy's
and
the
Girl Guides.
question. Fire
So,
is the answer.
If they do this sort of thing in Canada, they probably will just merge them, frankly. But for now, Canada has somehow been untouched by all of this, even though it's happening in the States.
I also love the fact that the Girl Scouts' official motto is to build girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. Specifically gendered right from the get-go. And as far as I can tell from the Wikipedia page, there are no boys in the Girl Scouts. I'm not finding a transgender section just yet.
Honestly, that'll come soon enough. I mean, I know a lot of trans activists view all types of gendered spaces, not just like men or boys gendered spaces, as problematic. So they'll come for the girl ones eventually.
Let's see. Sexuality and gender issues. Okay, so there's a little bit of activities, I see. And don't ask, don't tell policy on lesbianism, right? That was in, what,
the 90s?
Yeah, 19 something.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Here we go. Okay. Stance on transgender genders. Okay, so it seems as if, from what I can see here, the Girl Scouts will allow transgender children on a, quote, case-by-case basis. So
what is the case they're doing?
No, I guess they bring them in for an interview and check if they pass or not. I don't fucking know.
Wow. Also, they're kids. You're judging kids on how they pass?
Don't ask me.
Don't ask, don't tell, I guess, eh? It's back.
Yeah, so they are pro-LGBT, so they've added in the T there as well.
Yeah.
And that's from 2016, so probably trans-friendly, I'd guess, wager, so long as you look appropriately female, I suppose.
Hold, just give me a second.
I wonder if that was a give me a second, I need to go somewhere, or give me a second, I'm looking something up. Because one is allowed for me to speak. No, it's the other one. But yes, of course, this is, as always, a one-sided route. One-sided street. The Boy Scouts of America will become Scouting America. The Girl Scouts of America will remain the Girl Scouts of America. And you know what? It's almost quaint. Invest in girls. Ah, yes. Brilliant. Beautiful. Support us. Girls specifically need your help. I do adore this idea that we've managed to arrive at a setting where we literally have active...
I'm back. Sorry about that.
All right. Welcome back. I was just saying, there's a section on the Girl Scouts that's invest in girls, and I'm just saying, I love the fact that we've arrived at a position where it is entirely socially acceptable in every way to have female-exclusive organizations. To have, give me things, I am a girl. Support me, I am a girl. To the point where banks and official organizations and the government, etc., all of this does this. And none of this is allowed for men. To the point where now the Boy Scouts of America, which were already allowing girls into their ranks, have to change their name.
So here's the thing. I actually don't necessarily agree with you on this one, Arch, because I think what's going on is, I mean, they're accepted a little bit, but they are ultimately going to be turned into very trans-inclusive places where they're not going to be only women's spaces anymore, as let's say the TERFs would define it. You know what I mean?
Unlike you, I'm not a bigot. When I say woman, I include men into that descriptor.
Hold on a minute. You didn't last night in that other conversation we had in the super secret chat.
Listen, women plus.
Women plus
Are
this is
a
what I mean, though,
well-known part of womanhood.
So if you were to talk to like a radical feminist that doesn't like trans people, right? They would say that the trans activists are pushing into these women's spaces, and that these trans women are actually just male infiltrators. All right, that's the rad femme interpretation of all this. And they see it happening with like women's restrooms, and they see it happening with women's change rooms, and definitely some women's
Heresy's
only
the question.
clubs
Fire
and
is
women's
the
only
answer.
spaces. So I do think it's inevitable that it will happen here as well. I think the idea that this is simply about keeping men down and giving women their own spaces. No, it's not going to stop there. I think this will ultimately be turned towards just complete gender abolitionism eventually.
Well, not gender abolitionism. Because I do agree, yes, this will obviously be used to push the agenda further, because that is the entire raison d'etre of progressivism. Further, further, further. And so obviously, woman will include womexen, woman plus, woman 2.0, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't abolish gender, at the very least not yet, simply because gender is an effective weapon. Because it is socially acceptable to advantage women over men, and it has been for quite some time. And it is illegal to advantage women over men in quite a few countries. Now, there have been especially in England, I know, there has been quite a few lawsuits against things like female-only gyms, for example, where a man has gone like, ooh, payday, and walked in there and gone like, I wish to become a member. It's like, you're not a woman. Correct. Consider yourself sued. And God bless those men, by the way. But like,
that's funny.
In Norway, it is actually not only legal to discriminate based on gender, it is legally required to hire 40% women in boards of officially traded, like publicly traded companies. You must have 40% women or your company is not legal. Like that is...
Okay. Is that women or trans women?
They don't say yet.
I see.
Well, I suppose that would be an interesting legal challenge, though, wouldn't it? Like, no, that would actually be really interesting. What would happen if you showed up in a court, obvious man, beard and all, but you're wearing a dress, and you go like, Your Honor, I'm a woman. What then?
I mean, we have seen people pull that off a few times.
Yes.
I don't know if you've like kept we've seen people do that, and they usually I think they do usually eventually just kick them out, but you can tell that they're like struggling with the decision to do so. But they do eventually just be like, listen, I know what you're doing, fuck you, and they kick them out. That's what ends up happening. They kind of just end up betraying their own ideas to shut down the dissent, basically.
Yeah, because
you're not going to get consistency out of them. You're not going to get consistency out of them.
Yes, because it isn't intended. It is not intended to be consistent. Like, these rules are not intended to be rules to govern and rule over us as good rules. They're intended as political tools to advantage a certain group.
Yep.
Which is exactly why they refuse to define woman, because the moment they define woman, they've put themselves in a position. This is also why, incidentally, and I'm sure you picked up on this as well. I think you did a video even on this some time ago, if I remember correctly.
Possibly.
Where the reason why they get so angry whenever you try to define their position and keep going, no, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it, is because this gives them power. If you cannot define your opponent's position, if you cannot nail them to anything, you cannot have a debate against them.
Yep. That's definitely part of it. I'm not sure if I did a video on that specifically, but I might have. I've done a fair amount over the years now. Some topics I'm just like, did I talk about that before? I don't know.
Yeah, because that is core to virtually all of these people. Every time I have had a conversation or a debate with a leftist, I've tried to never ascribe any position to them beyond what they're immediately talking about, because they'll always tell you that that's not their version of leftism.
Oh yeah, all the time. I've definitely in my own debates I've found it useful to make sure that like, okay, well, what do you exactly mean by this? Like, I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I'm not going to misrepresent you to like, I've seen some people do this, right? Where like they know that they're debating someone who's bad faith, so they also end up being bad faith themselves. And so they'll ascribe a whole bunch of positions to their opposition who may or may not hold them. And then all they have to do is be like, I don't believe that. Like you actually, it's kind of strange. The best way to beat a bad faith actor is to actually be good faith yourself. because then you can be like, okay, well, what do you mean by this? And you can catch them in you can catch them in lies, you can catch them in hypocrisy. Like you have to basically give them a bit of space to say what they're going to say, so that you can then turn around and be like, well, this doesn't actually work.
And on that point of hypocrisy as well, another very interesting little thing that happened just recently. I'll put this in the link channel.
Okay.
I'm sure you're aware of the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected channel, right? The one on Steam, where they were marking out Sweet Baby Inc. games and stuff.
Yep, I did a whole bunch of stuff on Side Scrollers about that.
Yep. It had a Discord. That Discord had been hacked, and by hacked, I presume they didn't screen their moderators correctly.
Or they got someone's password for their Discord because it was like password. You know, the password is password or something stupid like that.
I wouldn't ascribe that level of intrigue to this, honestly. But somebody got into a position of power on their Discord who was not in agreement with the agenda and decided to just start banning people and trying to delete the Discord server.
Yeah. I'm not surprised, to be honest. To be fair, I know Arch back in the day, you had a rogue moderator that did some damage to your community, you know, like 5 or 6 years ago. It happens sometimes.
A little bit of gay ops.
Yeah.
And I do also like, immediately, imagine the headlines if the roles were reversed. Like, this is exactly it. You remember when, what was it? There was some left-wing Discord years ago that got infiltrated. I don't even remember the story now.
Service
And there was
guarantees
quite the
citizenship.
outcry over this, where a lot of people started deleting their accounts over it.
I think it's happened several times. I'm not sure what specific one you mean.
Yeah, me
It
neither
sounds
now.
pretty familiar, you know?
I have like a visual image in my head, but I can't nail it down.
Yeah. No, that's a common thing that's happened on the internet, you know, and it's happened to everyone too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe chat will think of an example of this.
I expect to see a little celebration around this, though. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen anything yet, honestly. Somebody bragging that they did it or something, you know?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. I think, oh man, the most recent braggery that I've seen was
Fire is the answer.
when Stephen Molyneux got kicked off Twitter. I don't like the guy at all, but I don't think he should be kicked off Twitter. But he was mass reported by actual Jake's community, and they just bragged about it. They just posted like, "It was us, we did it. Yes, it was me, I did it." It's like, you guys are gross. You know?
Stephen Molyneux. Now, there's a name I haven't heard in quite some time.
He's been banned off basically everything. I'm not surprised.
I don't... Why? Like, I used to watch a little bit of his stuff years and years ago. He didn't seem that controversial. Like, I don't like his economic ideas, as he's basically an ANCAP, or a anarcho-capitalist is what I would actually describe him as, straight up, though he mellowed out a lot over the years. Was he that controversial? I haven't watched him in years.
He had some white nationalist views on things for sure.
Oh,
So
well,
they
there you go.
him. Yeah.
What were these white nationalist views? White people should be allowed to exist?
I'll have to look it up. I have to reacquaint myself with the old lore on him.
I wouldn't be surprised, as okay. I want to sidetrack this. One more tiny little thing before we get to the proper topics as well.
Oh my god. Hold on. We've burned through this topic in like 3 minutes. Isn't there more to this?
Not yet.
Okay, all right.
It's just gotten hacked. We'll see if anybody claims credit or somebody. I haven't seen anything else about it. I just wanted to bring it up in context of the hypocrisy.
I do know that Kabruta said he got it back and things are okay again.
Yep.
I heard that.
They are restoring it. I did see that. But how into old school animated stuff are you? Like Batman the animated series?
I watched it as a kid, but I wasn't a super fan or anything.
Well, they're making a new version now.
Okay, that's good. Maybe, probably not.
Technically, sort of, kind of based on the even older one, the Caped Crusader. That was the live-action show. I'm sure you've at least seen it. The one that looks unfathomably campy.
No, I haven't seen it. Live action. It was hold on. Wait, there's been several live action superhero shows that no one's fucking watched. Which one are you talking about?
the oldest one. I think it might have been the first one. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can find it here. Ah, there we go. Here, I'll put that in the link channel. That one.
Oh yeah, oh that one. Okay, yeah, I know. Right. Everyone knows this one. Yeah, this is the old 1960s. I think it's the 60s show.
Yeah, I don't even know.
With Adam West.
Yes.
Adam West is the Batman.
It's ancient.
I watched it as a kid. There was reruns on like for decades afterwards. It was so popular. So I watched it as a kid and it was funny. I enjoyed it.
It was popular. That was the weirdest part of it. I've never watched it, so I have no idea. It looks so unfathomably bad. Then again, it's really ancient, so I mean, God, it does. It looks awful though. My God.
Well, the new cartoon show.
No, like the Adam West one.
Oh no! What do you mean? Okay, it has like that campiness. It looks bad because it's old, not because they didn't try.
No, sure, but it does look absolutely unfathomably awful. I mean, those outfits.
It's a fun time. It was a good time. Good times were had by all.
They are trying to sort of recreate this with the upcoming show, which is this one was announced to have been cancelled, but apparently it hasn't been. Batman Caped Crusader, so not the Caped Crusader. It's supposed to be set in the 1940s, which makes me wonder why Jim Gordon is black. I think he would probably be strung up for being a black police commissioner at the time, but details.
Yeah, listen, they want a period piece, but they don't want all the ugliness that comes with having a period piece.
Yeah, so
you gotta have trans people back in the 1940s, guys.
You get the old Batsuit, the black and gray, which is great. His horns are a bit long for my taste. You get the old purple Catwoman costume. They're clearly going for a lot of like the old school stuff, and yet then there's the new the Harley Quinn. So the Twitter post I made a couple above. That's supposed to be Harley Quinn, the fat-faced, man-looking, like man-titted jester in green and yellow?
Yeah. Yes. So I have this picture of Harley Quinn. It's also been going around. They made her Asian.
Is that Harley? That's
Harley Quinn. I've heard from several people. I mean, maybe not. It could just be like things going viral. But I've heard from several people that this is Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn is Asian. So she has like black hair now, and she's a little bit chubby. I guess. I don't fucking know, dude. You know, at this point, your guess is as good as mine.
I mean, I can see it. I mean, she's writing in a notepad, so I guess she's the doctory type, you know. But
well, she's a psychiatrist, right? So here we go. I got this article. Let's take a look at this. So, Harley Quinn will be depicted as an Asian American in the new series. The character is no longer paired with the Joker, her usual partner in crime. She works as a psychiatrist who treats Bruce Wayne. She's not treating the Joker this time. She's treating Bruce, giving her unique insight into Batman. Let's see.
Why? That's very weird.
Let's see. The original Dr. Quinzel was a little more serious, and then when she became Harley, she got really goofy and weird. So we thought, what if we reverse that? What if when she's Dr. Quinzel, she's a little bit more whimsical and fun, and when she's Harley Quinn, she's scary? Okay.
Why?
This Harley is described as a more whimsical, but her Harley Quinn persona is scary and uses psychology as a weapon. Oh my God.
Service guarantees citizenship.
So one of the various villains Batman has to contend with, who's like robbing the bank or whatever, Batman runs in and it's Harley Quinn, and then she just starts talking to him about like his dead parents.
Here's the question. Fire
and that's her weapon.
Answer.
is talk no jutsu.
So, okay, right, this is the thing. So they want the old school Batman. They want the animated series. Because I'm pretty sure the people working on this are some of the people from the original animated series.
Right,
so that's why Batman looks like Batman. He's got the original costume, he has got the original style, and they wanted like this old school noir feel. Okay. But then you get to the race swaps and the weirdness and the female butch character, and suddenly all of that goes out the window. So on every level, she's no longer paired with the Joker. That is enormous, because the Joker is to Harley Quinn what Nora Freeze is to Mr. Freeze. He is her motivation. He is her raison d'etre. He is the reason why she was the way she was, and he was the reason why she eventually went legit in the current canon, etc. You cannot have a Harley Quinn without a Joker.
Kind of. See, that's definitely true for the start of her story, but in most iterations, Harley has the I'm leaving Joker and I'm going to shack up with Poison Ivy storyline. That's really common now. And it's honestly a pretty good storyline for her, I think.
Yeah, but that too revolves around the Joker.
Yeah, because she has to leave Joker.
Yes.
And the whole point is that like she has to learn to be like, even though I'm now crazy because of him, I can't just hang around with him. I have to go have my own life. And then she goes off and has her own life. And
Yes.
like it's been done very poorly in some iterations. It's been done very well in some iterations. But the point is that like the whole point that her entire character arc is normal person driven insane by the Joker, and then eventually manages to get out of the Joker's orbit, and that's her character arc.
Yes, and again, it's the Joker. The Joker is her raison d'etre. Everything she does is based upon the Joker in some way or form. Hell, even in her own TV show, Harley Quinn, the Joker is a constantly recurring villain that she constantly has to deal with the psychological implications of. And even dealing with Poison Ivy, okay, so she goes from one psychotic criminal to another psychotic criminal. Like, she isn't fixed or cured, it's just that this one is slightly less abusive.
To be fair, Poison Ivy is actually not nearly as crazy as the Joker, I think.
Oh, no, she's worse. She's a lot worse.
Well, you think so? I don't think so.
Oh, God, yes. First and foremost, Poison Ivy wants to eradicate humanity. Straight up. Secondly, Poison Ivy's original lore, like the animated series, she has no empathy at all. Like, there's one brilliant episode where she raises a family of plant monsters that live only for a few days. And she raises these children, like, these are my babies, and they die in hours, and she doesn't bat an eyelash. Like, there's nothing human about Poison Ivy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think that's why their story ends up working, is because Harley does end up giving her some empathy. And they kind of make each other better in a way.
I doubt that, because at least I haven't seen that series where Poison Ivy is the one receiving empathy from Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn isn't very empathetic either.
Oh, hold on. Jesus Christ, we have to go all the way back now. So, like, definitely not in Suicide Squad, the shitty game that was recently came out. Because yeah, I'm by the way, I'm working on a very big Suicide Squad video. I think you guys are gonna like it. I've done the deep dive into that game. But definitely not Suicide Squad, and definitely not the more recent movies, because like those Harley Quinn movies that came out that were just fucking awful.
Birds of
Like
Prey, etc. Yep.
Yeah. Those like there's 3 of them in the end, and they all fucking bombed. So not those. But if you go back even further, to the '90s show, there's definitely like a softening of Poison Ivy as time goes on, once Harley Quinn kind of enters her life.
No.
I think there is.
No. There absolutely isn't. I literally just finished rewatching Batman the Animated Series, like a couple of days ago. There's no softening. In fact, she gets worse because the show is the show has a big style change in like season, I think 4 and 5, and that kills the show when they become not Batman the Animated Series, but Batman the New Adventures, where Poison Ivy gets worse. Like, she becomes less empathetic.
Okay. I mean, I remember because it's in the same continuity as the Justice League show, which is a little bit that came out after the Batman animated series, but it's the same continuity. And I'm pretty sure by Justice League, no, they're not fine, but they're certainly better, the 2 of them. The Justice League show is the one that I remember better than the animated series show. I was a bit too young for the animated series show.
Maybe in Justice League, I haven't watched that, so I can't comment. But in the animated series, there is absolutely no softening. She begins If anything, she begins slightly less insane than she turns out, because initially she's just a human whose primary weapon is like a wrist crossbow, and the whole controlling plant things happens only in the New Adventures.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
But their relationship with Harley is an interesting one, because at least then you've got a little bit of potential redemption. Even then, though, there's an episode where Harley is actually let out of Arkham without the Joker, and she is still just batshit insane. Like, she's still just crazy, and she ends up committing crimes for no other reason than because she's in a bad mood, basically.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised about that at all.
But that's also the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
By the way, I want to make it absolutely clear. I'm not saying in any iteration that Harley Quinn ever becomes a good person or anything like that. I'm not saying anything like that. Okay.
They are trying. Actually, in the recent comic book canon, she's supposed to be a hero now. I haven't read any of that, so I don't know, but supposedly.
I mean, I'm not surprised, honestly. Like, there's kind of been. I'll give you a little bit from my Suicide Squad video. There's been like 3 iterations of Harley Quinn, right? There's been the goofy jester, which is her first iteration, and she's not exactly one note, but she's kind of one note. And then there was the Arkham iteration, where she is, the femme fatale kind of dominatrix person. And even though, and like by the third Arkham game, I don't know if you played the March, but like in the first Arkham game, she's very attached to Joker. By the third Arkham game, Joker's dead, and Harley Quinn is running his gang, right? So she actually grows into her own very capable character in the absence of the Joker. And that's the second iteration, is where she's like doing the kind of like the quasi dominatrix thing. And then the third iteration is the Harley Quinn anarchist, which got started in the 2016 movie, and that has now just become like the new Harley Quinn, for better or worse, mostly for worse, right? Because that was the Margot Robbie interpretation, and then they went back and they changed the Arkham interpretation of Harley to be the more anarchist version that Margot Robbie popularized. Like, she didn't even popularize it; she anti-popularized it, but they're still pushing it anyway.
Yes,
and I think the reason that everything that is new, like every new version of Harley Quinn, is including the anarchist version, because that's just a very popular form of politics right now on the left. It's like anarcho-leftism, like anarcho-socialism and stuff, or just anarchism in general.
It's also actually very interesting to see Harley Quinn opposite Batman these days, because Harley Quinn is the same age as ever. She looks pretty much the same. She's still a fit, athletic woman, etc. In her more charitable interpretations, she still looks attractive. I never liked the Margaret Robbie version. I always no.
I understand. So here's the thing, right? After so the Suicide Squad game did many things badly. All right, it is probably like a 1 out of 10 game, or a 2 out of 10 game in the end. Okay. However, the one thing that they did, and no one's gonna like this take, but I think it's true. The one thing that they actually did that was okay was make Harley Quinn not as hot as she used to be. Because at this point in the timeline, it's been like 10 years or something since she was in her prime, and she's spent over half of them in solitary confinement with her like arms bound behind her back. All right. She's not going to come out looking like a fucking 10 out of 10 bombshell after that experience. You know what I mean? So I don't mind if she looks a little bit dumpy, even though it doesn't look good, but it makes sense for the story they're doing.
That's true, and I can't disagree with it, but at the same time,
guarantees citizenship.
That's so not the point of a super
Of the character,
villain,
yeah.
You know?
You could just make her hot. Yeah, you could just be like, she's hot, fuck it. Like, you could just do that, right? It makes sense, but I don't want it to make sense, basically.
But the thing that I find interesting is Bruce Wayne, Batman, is getting older
Heresy's the
and
question.
scruffier
Fire is the answer.
in every iteration. Like, old man Bruce is the commonality now. In the Batman the Animated Series, he was always impeccably shaven, always in perfect form, and he was actually optimistic. Like, he would always try to talk the villains out of whatever they were doing. And when they made any effort to reform, he would usually use Bruce Wayne's money to try and help them by giving them a job or giving them an apartment, etc., on a lease or really generous terms. And he was best friends with the police department. This is something that I really miss from Batman. Because every time now, Batman's always like the vigilante, the police hate him, everybody hates him. Rawr. Back then, he would go into the police station and like, hello, Jim. It just waved to people because everyone's like, yeah, we're in a war against crime. Batman helps. Fucking great.
Yep. And also, yeah, Batman definitely had that softer side where, as Bruce Wayne, he would fund a whole bunch of stuff in the city. And now, in all the current interpretations of Batman, he is, he's depicted as like a greedy billionaire fascist who, he owns Gotham, being the golden child of Gotham, being the inheritor of the Wayne fortune, and he does nothing with it but beat up criminals who could honestly just be helped by using his fortune in better ways. Like that is the leftist interpretation of Batman. And honestly, you see a lot of Batman hate on the left right now. Yeah. And there has been for like 5 or 6 years at least, where they basically say like, no. Batman is not the hero of the night. He's the symbol of the problem. And it's like, well, I kind of get it, but it's not that simple. You could make an argument that maybe Bruce Wayne should use a bit more of his money to fix up the city if it is that fucked up. Fair enough. But also, you still got to beat up criminals. You can't just, if you give every criminal a sack of cash, not all of them will turn into good people.
Yeah, but when it does succeed, because in the animated series, he actually succeeds in reforming one of the villains, the ventriloquist, who has that little dumb Scarface dummy that thinks it's a gangster. He actually manages to reform that guy to the point where he is no longer a criminal, and he does so by hiring him at Wayne Corp with a very good deal, where he gets like a contractual apartment, he gets a job, he gets paid, etc. Really good deal. And that is as much a part of Batman as the whole beating up criminals thing.
Yep. But that's honestly been kind of lost in the more interpretation. Okay, actually, did you watch the most recent Batman movie, live action movie?
The one with the pretty
Robert
boy.
Patterson.
Yeah. I hated it.
I kind of enjoyed it because I liked that version of the Riddler, where he's actually not capable of fighting at all.
Oh yeah.
He's just like an extremely online fucking incel type guy. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, all right. Something that's new and interesting. You did it. And that confrontation scene between the two of them where he's locked up. That was a really good scene. So like there's some good things to that movie, but the movie fundamentally falls apart because everyone treats Batman like a villain. Like, and even he ends up treating himself like a villain when he says, listen, when everyone's saying like, you should be spending your fortune to fix this city rather than running around in the middle of the night beating people up. Mm-hmm. It's like they've taken like, they just have, the caricature of the Dark Knight, and they've taken all of the good stuff out of it. They've taken the Bruce Wayne out of him basically, which was still an important part of his character.
And this again is the exact thing that I was pointing out. Harley Quinn is getting to be the good girl, despite all of the people she's killed, despite all of the things she's ruined, despite all the things she's destroyed. Harley Quinn is put in the most optimistic, positive light imaginable, where she gets to pair up with Batman and fight crime. Meanwhile, Batman, who has always been the hero, is interpreted worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
And it's not like Harley's even been reformed at all. Like she hasn't gone through that same arc where, Batman gets her a real job and she turns into like a normal person. No, she's still just batshit. She hasn't actually paid for anything. Yeah. That is I saw a viral image, right? And I forget the exact context, but the message of it was basically that the reason, millennial feminists like Harley Quinn so much is because she represents their basic life path, where they've destroyed their lives with their selfishness, and then their redemptive arc is to dump their shitty boyfriend, go have lesbian sex with their friend, and then just go on like a rampage of mayhem where they hurt other people. It's like, oh, is that your redemption arc?
That's a brilliant explanation.
And it's like, oh, so that does actually sound like a lot of millennial feminists who are now, hitting 40 and they're all cat ladies and they have no idea what the fuck to do with their lives. That sounds like your redemptive arc, yeah.
That is a brilliant way to put it. Yes, exactly. But to bring this all the way back to Asian Harley Quinn again, she's now everything that she isn't supposed to be. So she's not goofy and crazy. She's supposed to basically be the Joker, using psychology as a weapon,
Heresy's the
etc.
question.
She's supposed to
Fire
be like,
is the answer.
I don't know, Scarecrow plus Joker combination. And she's
Well,
not crazy.
guess what? Hold on. That actually makes a lot of sense in a very bad way. Okay. You know how I mentioned a few minutes ago
Heresy's
the
the
interpretation
question.
of Harley as
Fire
being
is
a bit
the
uglier
answer.
because of her time in prison, and how that makes sense, but it's still bad. So there have been recent storylines where Harley Quinn has been given control of Scarecrow's fear toxin, and she actually has this unique affinity to it because she's insane.
I mean,
Which makes no sense because nobody else has that who's insane in the lore. But yeah, that was actually a big plot point in Suicide Squad at the end. So okay, so do you recall that you didn't play the game, did you? Suicide Squad.
nope.
Okay. A lot of the details of the scenes that went viral that were just god awful have been lost on most people. But we've Naomi played through the game. I was on stream with her. We got a bunch of footage for the video, so like I know that the ins and outs of the Suicide Squad
Heresy's
story.
the question.
Um,
Fire is the
The
answer.
worst part of Batman and Suicide Squad isn't even the fact that he's unceremoniously executed, because he actually has to be. He's mind controlled at that point. That's not noticeable in the viral clip that everyone was like yelling at, because he was evil. He was evil Batman, and so Harley kills him. The worst part of Batman is that
Heresy's the question.
the boss
Fire
fight
is the answer.
between the player character as Harley and Batman is actually just a psychological fight using fear toxin, because both Batman and Harley. So hold on. Okay, this is some fucking lore now, because in the third Arkham game, Batman started using Scarecrow's fear toxin for himself. However, Harley shows up, and at this point, it's now years later, so Batman knows how to use this fear toxin very well. Harley shows up, is like, oh, this is fear toxin. Well, I'm already crazy, so I bet I can make a better fear toxin. She immediately makes a better fear toxin, and then has a psychological war against Batman where they both use their own fear toxins, and Harley's wins. And it's just because she's crazy.
Of course.
And that has kind of become the new lore now, is that Harley Quinn can overpower fear toxin. And that's just been a thing now for a while.
Of fucking course. And
it's such a stupid storyline.
just to fucking hammer home the point we just made, I read down a little bit in the article you find. Batman himself is also explored in a new light as a brooding, strange individual who struggles to be Bruce Wayne.
Isn't that just Batman? Like, hold on, isn't that
no?
Isn't that like the Christopher Nolan Batman? Like, that was him.
Isn't that the Batman from the last 20 years? Yes, it is. In a new light.
Apparently V-rated. Hey V.
Oh, thank you, V. I fucking hate this. Like, oh, what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna be different and unique. We're gonna make Batman dark. Oh, tell me more. Oh, please. Go on.
Oh God.
Oh, it's
you know what?
it's the same thing with fucking Superman, the upcoming Superman, right? Where he's putting on his boot and he's dirty. He's like, oh, what are you gonna do different? We're gonna make Superman into a scruffy hobo. Oh, thank you. Great, fantastic.
I mean, you can't really do Dark Superman because he doesn't have the same weaknesses that Batman does. It doesn't really work. You kind of need Superman to be that like shining beacon, you know, that good old boy.
Yeah, but he isn't though. Like even in the Henry Cavill Supermans, you watched those, I presume, right?
I watched only the first one because the Justice League shit was like just absolute garbage. And I didn't want to support it in any way. I didn't mind Man of Steel. It was like okay. The final battle was ridiculous, but like the actual character build, it was pretty good.
You know, Man of Steel is not actually a terrible Superman movie, but what I want to point out is the way it's shot in. If you look at any of the posters, if you watch the movie, it's all so fucking dark. Everything is grey and cold and lifeless. Like, there is not a single shot in that entire fucking movie that has any vibrance to it at all.
Yep, I completely agree. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking of it, for all the problems that the MCU has had, I think this is why Captain America was such a beloved character from that, you know, that first arc. You know, they're now doing a bunch of weird shit. But from the first story that culminated with finally destroying Thanos, right? Everyone loved Iron Man because he's kind of like he's fast talking.
Robert
Everyone
Downey
loved Thor
Jr.
because
is
he's
goddamn perfect
yeah.
fit for him. Yeah.
Yep, and everyone loved Thor because Thor is the fish out of water. But everyone really loved Captain America because he actually was just the simple, nice guy.
Yeah.
All right. He had a good, solid moral compass. He knew right from wrong. He didn't lie. He didn't steal. He always helped people in need. He was a simple character, but he was a well done character. And I know, like back in the 2000s, everyone was praising The Dark Knight for its depth, and fair enough. But sometimes you do actually just need a simple good versus evil story, just at least just to cleanse the palate. And Captain America did that. He did it very well. You know, sometimes you just need someone who's unambiguously good and does the right thing.
And we haven't had that in ages. Like, I'll send you another screen cap here. So this one is from the Justice League movie that you didn't watch. It's a scene where Lois is in the bathtub. I'm presuming this is YouTube friendly. And it's supposed to be a very romantic scene. You know, she's watching herself and he gets in and like, hey. It's supposed to be very romantic, warm and inviting, supposed to illustrate that they're lovers now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look how fucking dark that scene is. How fucking cold that scene is. Do you not get shivers just looking at the water?
It looks like cold water, yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't look warm at all.
No.
It looks like it's cold water.
It really does. Like, so when somebody says in an interview, like, I'm going to do a brand new thing. I'm going to do Dark Superman. Like, oh, God, thank you. Fantastic. We haven't seen that before. It's like, oh, yeah. That is every Superman. That is every DC character. Like, I cannot believe that the DC universe has managed to rape itself into obscurity. Like, it used to stand head and shoulders over Marvel. Like, Marvel used to be the children's universe, and DC was the serious good one with the good stories for grown-ups. Now,
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
It's just dark and boring and terrible.
It's because the Marvel guys were actually willing to take 10 years to develop a storyline. They didn't rush into the big crossover in the second fucking movie of the series. You know what I mean? They did like, okay, here's a bunch of movies we're gonna do. We're gonna do all these movies, and then we'll do a big crossover event like 5 years in. And it's like that's the formula, is you have to have a slow burn on this stuff, right? You can't just have the immediate hype train. But that's what they tried to do with the they basically DC and the new Star Wars stuff both fundamentally suffered from blowing the hype load way too early. They didn't build up enough.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Because DC was desperate to catch up to Marvel. And so they needed the Batman versus Superman. And my God, that movie title alone should have sold out every seat in America. But they didn't give it any build-up. What Superman? Oh, that one over there that got one movie where Superman ended up killing someone at the end of it. That movie? That incredibly divisive movie? Yeah, that one. Okay, which Batman? Oh, Ben Affleck. What? When was Batman? Ben Affleck Batman. Like, he is now. And don't get me wrong, I actually really like Batfleck. I think he looks great in the role, but he was just dumped in there.
Yeah, they needed a lot more build up. If they could have somehow continued like the Christopher Nolan series into like a DC multiverse kind of thing, it might have worked. Because at least you had 3 movies and years between them, so that people really cared about them, and also they were really well received in their own right. Like you could have done it.
Yeah.
But they blew their load too early. They tried too hard too early. They should have just taken it slow. Make another Batman movie, make another Superman movie, make it like a Flash movie or something. Build it up, get 5 or 6 movies under your belt, and then have your first crossover.
Yeah, they didn't build it up. And again, they did this thing that we're complaining about right now. Batfleck is stubble all the time. Like, fucking Batman never shaves anymore. Batman never goddamn shaves anymore. That really annoys me. It really actually unironically does. And, of course, again, he was just dumped in there. The Flash was never good. I tried watching the TV show. I fucking hated it. I don't know why people like The Flash. So,
Was the TV show the same continuity?
I think so,
They had
yeah.
a movie. They had a movie.
Oh,
no. The actor for the Flash ended up like abducting a child or something.
Heresy's the question.
yeah, no, he groomed a
Fire is
kid,
the
I
answer.
think.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah,
okay.
there was a whole thing. There was a whole...
That was a whole other drama that I forgot about, and now it's come back to me.
There was a whole goddamn thing. But to finally now wrap this up with one last point here. Let's see where to put that. Oh, yeah, there we go. So I take it you didn't watch the X-Men 97 at all?
It is on my list, but not yet.
Okay, so X-Men 97...
I will watch it. I will watch it eventually, because I like the original show.
Did not do very well. It never got on the Nielsen ratings at all, so we don't know how bad it is or how much it cost to produce, but it seems to have been a big failure for the rebranding of the X-Men. And this is unironically a bad thing, because X-Men 97 was actually pretty goddamn good. It doesn't have a whole lot of politics in it. In fact, it has practically none, except the new brown guy mutant, I guess. It's decently animated, although it tries very hard to go with the old style, which limits the animation quality, and noticeably. It gets a lot of the old voice actors. They reprise their roles very well, despite it being like 30 years later. And it respects the continuity, almost a little bit too much, because if you haven't watched the original ones or don't remember them, you are going to be like, what the fuck? That's a major plot point that was suddenly just dumped on my ass. And it was genuinely
it's
quite
like a
good.
direct sequel, huh?
Yes, it picks up immediately thereafter.
Oh, okay,
And,
well, I mean, fair enough.
And that again is a little bit of a problem, because when Jean Grey is talking to Scott, like, the Phoenix, like, what? Phoenix? What Phoenix? The bird that brought me across galaxies.
Heresy's the question.
Did I miss an
Fire is
episode?
the answer.
Gotta go back and watch the original, I guess.
Yes, and I did. And it's still good. And the X-Men 97 is just more of that. But it has flopped. And the reason why it flopped was largely because they marketed it to the exact wrong audience. Up until it was released, they were talking about how X-Men have always been woke. This will be the most inclusive X-Men ever. God, this will be fantastic. And everyone on my side, and some on Deb's center-lefty side, I guess.
I'm not center-left, I'm just center. That's how it is.
Immediately like, okay, I'm not gonna watch this. I'm not gonna fucking watch a show where the creator is telling me it's woke. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna support him. And I was going to watch it because I was like, okay, this is going to be garbage. I'm going to watch it together with Kibbs and we're just going to shit on it. Watch the first episode. Hold on. This is not bad. Okay, I'll give it another one. Second episode, let's see if it gets worse. Nope, stays good. Like, oh shit, it's a good TV show. And it killed itself by marketing itself as a bad TV show. Like, literally, the creators like, this is going to be a shit television show. Don't watch it.
So just out of curiosity then, it is actually a good show then?
Yeah, no, I quite enjoyed it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, it does have some retarded stuff. Oh, some very retarded stuff. Because it kind of is stuck a little bit too much in the 90s mindset, where you can kind of just hand wave away certain events. So Magneto ends up destroying the Earth's magnetic field. Which would end up killing a few million people, and that's kind of just like brushed under the rug.
I'm pretty sure it would kill everyone.
Yes, I think so too, maybe.
Yeah, because, well, no, the reason that Earth can actually keep its atmosphere is because the magnetic field keeps it in. That's why Mars doesn't have one, because the core of Mars cooled enough that it stopped rotating, didn't have a magnetic field anymore, so most of the atmosphere blew off of Mars with solar wind. If Earth loses the magnetic field, there's no more air to breathe.
Well, in the X-Men universe, that just means a really big EMP, apparently.
Oh, okay.
So that was dumb. There was a whole thing where they were like, Magneto was right. It's like, no, Magneto was not right. That is not the point. And if I was to be optimistic...
Oh God, really? Hold on, wait. Magneto. Okay, I know
Yep.
Magneto was a victim of the Nazis as a kid. I get it, but he does end up being like the mutant supremacist. He
Oh, yeah.
does end up being the story's fascist.
Yep. Yep.
And they're going, Magneto was right.
Yep. And the thing is, my optimistic view, because I haven't watched the last episode of the show. My optimistic view is that they kind of roll it back there. The X-Men defeat Magneto, do some sort of bullshit to save everybody. Fuck knows. I mean, even if we assume it's just an EMP, right? Every aircraft on the planet just fucking pancaked. You know, God only knows how many millions of people are dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of go back to like, okay, no, Magneto was the monster all along. Or they do a second season and they explore this more thoroughly, right? But it's probably never going to get there because, again, it's a good show that marketed itself deliberately as a bad show.
Well, I guess that's that then.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably still try it. I might go back and watch the original just to see, just to catch myself up. But I'll probably try it.
I've been doing that. I'm like halfway through the original, and I'm quite enjoying it. But the only way I could watch it, I found an AI upscaled version to 1080p, and it still looks a bit weird, but it looks good enough.
Was there like a DVD release or anything? Probably not, eh?
I think maybe, but the only version I found online was some ancient-ass butchered 480p YouTube quality video. I was like, is that a pixel or is that Cyclops?
Oh man, that reminds me of like getting Dragon Ball Z episodes, downloading them off of like LimeWire, and they're like, they're like resolution 200 by 100. You can barely fucking watch them.
Yep. Now this though. See, I'm kind of worried that the studios might. This will lead us nicely into Sony, incidentally, Helldiver. Like, what happens if DC suddenly has an epiphany and goes like, "Oh, hold on, what if we made Superman into a good guy and made a good guy Superman movie?" And then none of us watched it because we simply assumed it would be woke man again. And then DC goes like, "Well, I mean, shit. I guess we'll go back to the old stuff, right?"
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. We do want to encourage them to make things that are good and not things that are shit.
Yes, unironically. But at the same time, when they tell you it's going to be shit, before they release
I get it. I get it. I mean, well, here's the thing. Okay, step one, what they got to do, at least in terms of, let's say, maybe not every single company because they're never going to agree, but one of them, hopefully it'll be DC, has the foresight to be like, listen, we know we fucked up, and just, put a moratorium on making any superhero content for like 5 years, right? It's like, listen, we're not making any movies, we're not doing any shows, it's all canceled, it's all done, we're just going to be quiet for a while, okay? Go away, come back in 5 years and announce, and then dip your toe into the water again, right? Because, okay, so here's the thing, right? The span of time between Return of the Jedi and episode 1, Phantom Menace, was what, like 25 years? Like George Lucas waited like a full generation before starting that next the prequel trilogy. And when he was asked about it, he said it was because he knew that you can't just burn people out on the same franchise. You get franchise fatigue. So he waited. And then it became a huge phenomenon because there hadn't been a new Star Wars in 25 years. Even though it's not that good of a movie. Maybe it's like 20 years, but whatever. But like, it wasn't that good of a movie, episode 1. But holy fuck, did everyone love it back then?
Fire is the answer.
And then they hated it. Now they love it again because they don't like the new Disney stuff. But the point is you have to wait a bit, all right? You got to chill out, do some other projects, come back after a while, then do it again, right? You can't just keep trying year after year after year. Like here, let's say this new Superman that they've just shown off is shit, right? And the movie bombs. And then next year, Arch 2025, they announce a new Superman continuity that they're restarting again. And then this one ends up being good. No one's going to care. There's been too much Superman. 3 Supermans in 3 years. Like no one cares at that point, right? Plus like any TV shows that you have or any video games that are all different continuities. Like at some point, you just gotta stop, do something else, and then come back to it later. I think even more so than than woke stuff or terrible quality, because you might still get some people who will try it, even if it ends up being woke or ends up being just low quality. Some people will still at least give it a shot, but no one's giving anything a shot as long as there's franchise fatigue. It's like that has to be solved first.
Well, I do agree, but I think that is a way around it. Because a lot of the franchise fatigue is around specifically the franchises being awful. The people are tired from Dark Superman. Dark Superman's fucking boring. Dark Superman has been fucking done again and again. And woke stuff. If they were to come out and make a full-throated marketing campaign, Superman, Truth, Justice, and the American Way, with the slogan being, "This is the Superman from your childhood," they do the bright blue and red yellow uniform, and they just hammer this home as a traditional movie. Superman's the hero in this one. I think that would have a certain cleansing effect, because the market is dying for anything that seems to be overtly non-woke right now. And also, I don't know if you saw this.
My phone went off. Sorry about
that. Madam Web. Did you see that one?
Oh, I did hear that it's basically dead on arrival, complete shit show. I watched the Redditor media skit about it, where it's very clearly just like a terrible movie. I didn't see it. I didn't know anything about it. I just know that everyone thinks that it's bad. Not even the the very far left people that it's marketed to are even watching it.
Absolutely, because it was marketed against the wrong people. Again, Truth, Justice, and the American Way. Old school Superman, marketed towards the right, towards the conservatives, would be a big hit for the simple reason that most of us would go, okay, you got to support the movie. Just like Stellar Blade. It would be able to repeat the Stellar Blade phenomena, but on an even larger scale, because it's Superman.
Yep.
And Man and Web...
I agree with you. Here's the thing about Stellar Blade, right? Like, it's a good game. It's actually a really good game. It's not a 10 out of 10. It has some pretty serious flaws, but it's also a really good game, and it's one of probably the one of the better games to come out. But what it has that so many other games don't is that it has sincerity. It very clearly is made by somebody who has a belief in a certain thing, and he's willing to simply say it and not pander to all sides. And that's kind of like giant asses, giant beautiful asses aside. All right, Stellar Blade has some very serious flaws, but the fact that you can actually call it a piece of art and not just something made to appeal to certain focus groups. I think that's why everyone likes it, because there's actually something there that is not just marketing. Yep,
I can see that. And it was marketed towards the correct audience.
See, yeah, that too.
Madam Web is a terrible movie. It's not a very good movie, in the slightest. It's a retarded movie. It's a ridiculous movie. It has an awful plot. It has a lot of awful characters, got a lot of awful acting, a lot of awful lines. But it has very hot women in it. If Madam Web had been marketed as 3 hot women in tights fight the bad guy, it would probably have done a lot better. But no, it was marketed as, well, female empowerment. That was the marketing slogan for, like, oh, women are gonna do this right now. Women are gonna fight the bad guy. Okay, I assume they're all gonna have side-shaved hair and wear full body suits. Then they're loose fitting. No, bodysuits are there, but they're all tight fitting. The skirts are short and the clothes are tight. If they had literally just... It's like the producer thought to himself, okay, how do I appeal to the male audience, and then forgot about actually appealing to the audience.
Yep, absolutely. And, here's a good question. Could you make a modern Charlie's Angels?
Ooh.
Because, like, even though Charlie's Angels, like, they are all competent characters who can fight, the point is that they're also attractive.
Well, there was a modern Charlie's Angels, wasn't it? In here we go, 2019.
Oh wait, was there? I know there was a revival in 2000. or like 2005 or something. Was there a more recent version?
Yep, Charlie's Angels, 2019. IMDb 5.0. That's not very good, no.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because so I forgot this even fucking existed, dude, because it had Kristen Stewart in it. I forgot this existed. Yeah, so they did a Charlie's Angels, but they took most of the hot factor out of it, and now no one wants to see it. It's like, well, yeah.
I'm watching some of the pictures. Who's the woman with the man haircut?
That's Kristen Stewart, yeah.
Okay. Because that's a man. And then you've got two not terrible women next to him, I guess, but not amazing either. And they're far too covered up as well. There's like no sex factor here. It's very strong female energy.
So what's interesting is that Kristen Stewart, she became known for playing Bella in Twilight. Now you might hate Twilight, fair enough. Everyone hates Twilight. It's very common to shit on those movies because they're overly sappy. You know you know what I'm talking about, the vampire love story. Yeah.
Yep.
Teen girl love story. Yeah, but here's the thing. She's most known for Bella. And Bella is, for all of her other faults, very clearly a feminine character, right? She's a teen girl who is in love with a vampire, and like it's basically a shittier redo of the Buffy plot because Bella can't fight. But you get what she's about pretty quickly, and she's feminine. She's also positive. Every role that Kristen Stewart has done since that, she's basically been trying to get away from the Bella stereotype because she was so stereotyped by the success of those movies. That she's actually kind of psyoped herself into becoming non-binary because she did a photo shoot a few months ago with Rolling Stone, I think, where she's wearing like men's underwear and she has like a shaved head and she's doing all these very masculine poses. And it's like, this isn't working for you, dude. Like, I know that you hated Twilight. Everyone fucking hated Twilight. But, I mean, Robert Pattinson got over it. He became Batman. Like, why did you become this? Did you see those, Arch?
I did not. I'm Googling for it right now.
Maybe I can find it for you.
Oh
my God.
Kristen Stewart's best looks.
Oh my God, Arch, here, look at this
Heresy's
fucking...
the question.
Yeah, basically, they got like a bunch
Fire's
of
the
male
answer.
models to hang out in the way that male models do. And they just had her do it as well.
That weirdly looks like... Okay, this weirdly looks like a picture from a very low-budget porn for me.
Yes, yeah.
God. She looks like a woman who's really down on her luck, you know? Like this is the final refuge.
Yeah. Also, I think she's come out as lesbian as well since then. So
Oh,
she's
sure,
probably
why not?
doing she's probably doing like the dyke chic thing that was really popular in the '80s with KD Lang and stuff. She wants to bring that back, I guess.
Boy. Yeah, there you go. That's very...
And well, here's the thing, and like you
Attractive.
can go and do this. Yeah, you can go and do this and appeal to that very butch lesbian audience if you want. You know, go ahead. That's your business. But the point is, you can't take a person like this and then cast them into a Charlie's Angels film where the point is to be sexual and then have her not be sexual. It doesn't work, right?
And also...
There is a place in media for non-sexual women, but Charlie's Angels isn't it, basically.
There's also the fact that Charlie's Angels, but you got to bear in mind, it's like a 70s, 80s show?
I think it was a 70s show, yeah.
Yeah, like sexy back then meant something very different than it means now. Sexy back then meant clean-cut, beautiful women with fancy hairdos, wearing pretty clothing, and being very feminine. That was sexy back then.
Yep.
That's the thing you need to capture if you want to do Charlie's Angels. That old school, classy sexy.
Yeah, it's like elegance, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, hold on. I remember the 2000s Charlie's Angels reboot. And I mean, they didn't have elegance in the same way in the 2000s reboot, but they still had something. they still had an attraction, like an attractive quality that was there that was of the 2000s. So they weren't lounging around in these gowns, but they looked like attractive, confident action girls that you would see all the time in the 2000s, and that worked for this formula as well, because there has to be at least something appealing there, at least something. All right, the fact that the 2019 version just it had the action, but it didn't have anything that made them appealing at all.
Yep.
And not any form of sexuality whatsoever. It was just it was devoid of it, you know?
Well, basically, the question of could you make Charlie's Angels today? Yes. It's what would the angels need to look like? Basically, you'd have to kind of dig down
Harrison's
to
the
what the
question.
common
Fire
man
is
like
the
that.
answer.
There's the stumbling block. I realized at the moment I said it. You need to dig down to the common man's sexuality. What does the average man today find hot? That's what you need. And that's going to be the problem, because we don't want what the common man today finds hot.
Well, the progressives don't want it. Is what you mean.
Like, you'd probably want... I don't know. God, it's been so long since we had attractive characters on television. I struggle to imagine, honestly.
Well, I mean, Stellar Blade. Everyone's talking about that.
3 tall Asian chicks? Like, I mean, yeah.
With giant thighs. Okay, here's what it is, all right? So in the 2000s and in the 90s, really skinny girls were in, right? Tiny boobs, tiny waist, no hips, no ass, right? People like sticks back then. Right now, what's in is kind of the opposite. You know, big jiggly asses, thick thighs, thick breasts, you know. And we go through cycles of these things, because in the 80s it was also like that too. People like larger women back then as well. I don't mean fat, I just mean, you know, more proportionate.
Shapely.
Right?
Not the
Yeah,
progressive definition of curvy.
Yes. And I'm, you know, at some point, I'm sure, you know, the smaller type of girl will come back into fashion at some point in the future as well, because these things always move around. But the point is, like, you could do Charlie's Angels nowadays with women who like are very curvy, and it would probably work.
It probably would.
They're
Just
not gonna
because
do
of the sexual repression.
Just because of the sexual repression.
But it would not be greenlit. And even if it was, again, just like the previous 2 examples, I bet you it would be marketed as a girl power movie, which would get all of the intended audience to be like, no, don't want to watch it. Don't want to get preached to.
Oh, someone in the chat says voluptuous, Dev, not fat. Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Voluptuous is a good term, yes.
Voluptuous, yes.
This was supposed to lead me on to fucking Helldivers topic somehow. I don't remember how this was supposed to help me get there now.
Probably through the path of Helldivers, Sony, Stellar Blade, attractive woman.
No.
I'm assuming that's the link.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
I had a wonderful bridge here somewhere. Ah, yes, it was beating companies, and then they pretend to give you something you like, and then they keep hurting you regardless.
Right.
So I take it you've kept up a little bit with the Helldivers 2 thing?
I have. I haven't played much of it, but I know the drama is that it was, you know, basically the most successful live service game. Maybe Pal World has it beat, but Pal World was like a flash in the pan, and Helldivers kind of had some staying power. And basically everyone loved it, and then they turned around and said, by the way, you need to now sign up to PlayStation Network in order to do that. Let me see if I can give you my sky high take of it. Everyone is assuming that PlayStation Sony rather is doing this. They're making you get now they rolled it back, yeah. But like back then, everyone assumed that because there was a whole bunch of refunds for Stellar Blade over the censorship controversy, that Sony looked at it and was like, oh shit, dude, this sucks. We got to get more PlayStation signups in order to counterbalance this. So then they went and they made Helldivers require a PlayStation account. That's a bit too tinfoil hat for my taste. I don't think these 2 events are actually related at all. They could be, but I don't see any evidence of it. I think what is much more likely is that Sony sees Microsoft going off of Steam. They see them having their own Xbox ecosystem with the Xbox app, and they want to start pushing things in that direction, where basically there'll be a Sony PlayStation app, and you can buy your games in the PlayStation Store on your PC rather than having them all on Steam, and that'll be how things go moving forward. So I think this was them testing the waters, and it massively backfired in their faces.
That it did. Let's see.
That's what I know about it. And then I know that there was enough crazy pushback online. Like I think there was like hundreds of thousands of negative reviews left on Steam in the course of like 3 days or something. Like it was crazy. And once that happened, Sony rolled it back and said, "Yep, sorry, nope, made a mistake here," and then they rolled it back. And that's what I know about it. Am I missing anything?
Yes, a couple of things, little interesting things.
Okay.
Service
fill me in.
guaranteed citizenship.
But that can be a teaser for now. As
Sure.
we need to get back in the habit of doing super chats in the middle of it a little bit.
Okay, sure.
So I should
Service
find
guaranteed
my window
citizenship.
now. There we go. Dev, says Sarah Firewater. There is no men's only spaces, so I hope Girl Scouts get the same treatment. Me too. And he asks, what was your favorite part of NTR Rush, Dev? Mine was Chai getting cucked.
My God, guys.
Was that your favorite part
Listen,
too?
you know what? I enjoyed the fact that it feels like a basic hack and slash out of the 2000s. I mean, we just spent this entire stream talking about how, in one way or another, things were better back then, and they were better back then. So to see it come back in another form, in the form of a hack and slash, I actually just really enjoyed it. You know, it's cut from the same cloth as a bunch of games that were like on the GameCube or on the Xbox 360, and it's just a fun, simple game.
There was a lot of NTR in old games, it's true, Dev.
All right.
Prison Warrior, Arch. Spythan was started during Harald Hårfagre's time as king as a way to start teaching kids, primarily boys, how to hunt fish, etc. from an early age. Then the British learned it from us and popularized, misspelled it, and then the US spread it. Oh, so it's my invention. Good, I like that. I made the Boy Scouts. Artemis Fowl says, damn it, Dev, check your DMs. Arch, slap his balls. Dev, you ignoring your DMs again?
I'll check them later, Artemis. I'm currently on a fucking stream.
Schizo posting in there, maybe?
He probably is. I do like Artemis' schizo posts.
Holy shit, I actually get here at the start. Now depress me with the dog pill, Dev. Bear pill after that. I really feel like that trend is coming soon.
Just all sorts of animal pills.
Why not? Marked shamed. As an Eagle Scout, I think I am now used to the world, taking all my accomplishments and destroying them, and anything I done in life no longer matters. Correct. Shame on you for working so hard to begin with. You were a fool. Marksman 117B. Dev, since you missed it last time, who do you think will win the arms race? The food delivery bots or the urban youth who hunt them? C4 won't be enough.
Oh my God. I'm not sure. I got to think about it for a bit. I know, for example, basically Amazon versus thieves, Amazon won, because you have people like stealing packages. Well, Archie, you know about the automated Amazon store, right?
No. Tell me.
Okay, so there are Amazon like physical locations that have no staff. There's no cashiers, there's no security, there's no nothing. All right. What the store has is just a shit ton of cameras. And so you can only enter, I think there's like a doorman, right? So you can only enter if you have an Amazon account. And once you go in there, if you've uploaded your ID to your Amazon account, it'll just scan your face with all the cameras in the store. And then anything that you take out of the store and walk out with, it will just charge to your Amazon account. So you don't got to deal with lines or anything, right? And Amazon basically said that they are confident enough with their technology that if like there's a glitch and you happen to take something and not pay for it, they're fine with it, because the amount of savings they get not paying for labor, vastly outpaces whatever might be stolen from the store. It's the same with delivery, right? You have Amazon Prime, someone steals your package, you can just get it resent, and you'll get your money back. So basically, Amazon's business model is we don't care about theft because we are so successful and so automated and so convenient that just the sheer number of sales and the amount of profit we make will overcome any theft that happens to us. So, I mean, Amazon has literally beat theft by allowing it. So then you have to think about, like, well, will food delivery become so convenient in the future that they'll beat theft in the same way? It's possible. I'm not sure.
Don't think so because of the convenience factor. Amazon packages. If you order a package, you already expect it's going to take a fucking week to get there most of the time. If you go to the store, obviously you're in the store. You know, it's difficult to get that inconvenience. But if you're ordering food like this, you're often going to be ordering it fresh, or you're going to want it now, you know, within the few hours, or delivery, etc. If the point is that these little food bots will be able to deliver the food to you quickly, then routing through an urban youth area is going to severely inconvenience you, because your food's not going to arrive, and then you're going to, like, an hour later, like, call up the company, like, hey, I didn't get my food. Then they need to send another robot. And presuming that one gets through downtown Brooklyn,
Heresy's the question.
now your food is 2
Answer.
hours late, right?
Yep.
It has to do with the degree of the convenience, I suppose.
That's true. I mean, you might be able to do those automated, like, bots in Japan, but probably not here. What you
Service
could do
guaranteed
here are
citizenship.
drones. Have drone delivery. All right, a drone
see.
flies high enough, you can't throw a bottle at it to take it down or anything. Have a drone deliver your food real easy. That's probably possible.
Possible, but here's the problems with drones.
Service guarantees
Drones are
citizenship.
technically aerial vehicles, which means that they have several limitations on where they can fly and how high, etc., if you want to do it commercially.
Yeah.
I know this was what was kind of beginning to kill the Amazon idea of aerial delivery drones, because you need to know exactly where these things are, because there's a lot of the air that is actually, like, for specific traffic purposes, for emergency traffic, or even for commercial and private traffic, etc. There was also the problem that it depends on how clever the thieves get, doesn't it? I'm sure you've seen this in Russia, right? They've developed all kinds of these, like, little homemade devices to fry the circuitry on these things, because most of these things are very, very fragile, because they're only based on, like, a couple of microchips, essentially. It keeps the thing running and operating. How long do you think it'll take the urban youth to figure out what a microwave is and how to direct it?
I'm not sure, because we did see that one Democrat politician saying that black people don't know what computers are.
That's true. Maybe the melanin count will keep the drones safe.
I know what you mean, though. I mean, there's that viral video of like a redneck guy throwing a beer bottle at a drone flying over his property.
Yeah.
Like, shit like that's gonna happen all the time. You're gonna get somebody who can hack them or can fry them or something. Like, it's definitely gonna happen. All right. These sort of automated services are not going to work in a society that doesn't have extremely high trust.
Yeah, and there's also just all of the security concerns, because having something that flies means that, because if you're going to deliver a package that weighs, let's say, even like 5 kilos, right? You're probably going to need a drone of at least 10, 15 kilos to carry that thing reliably and effectively. So now you've got 20 kilos flying through the air. And if something goes wrong, now you've got 20 kilos hurtling towards the ground.
Yeah. I think this will probably be something that happens in the far future, but not the near future.
Yeah, it would need to be, like, very, very reliable. And hey, if Amazon is successful enough, then killing a few people with falling drones every year won't be a problem, I guess. Like, we're sorry we killed your husband. Here, have a check. Oh,
How'd we get on this anyway?
Super chat. That was it.
Oh, okay. We should probably do some more of those before
Demolition.
the time runs out for today.
Demolition Man Future goes closer still. Zedekai, man, am I glad I got my scouting out of the way when I did. I took pride in being an Eagle Scout. Now it's nothing more than a point on my resume. At least it's that. Why you hating? I know for a fact the Girl Scouts will furious when it was announced that the Boy Scouts would let girls into their organization. I would imagine so, because, like, okay, now you've got no reason to go to the Girl Scouts, because the Boy Scouts are just bigger.
probably has more resources too. Yeah.
March James, give Goldilocks instructions for bear spray. Use bear spray on bear. Bear spray makes bear angry. Angry bear. ... You fast or dead. Ah, yes, the would you rather be stuck in a forest with a bear or a man thing that was going around TikTok recently.
Yep, that was actually really funny. I did a video on it.
Tell
What a
me,
dumb fucking situation.
tell me that women don't understand animals without. See, this is the origins of the dog pill, isn't it?
No, these are two different things. Dog pill is just weird sexual degeneracy. The whole bear thing, like, yeah, part of it is that women don't understand bears. That's just true. You know, they're all, you know, these women who are interviewed, they live in these
Service
cities, and
guarantees
they very clearly
citizenship.
haven't never left the city before. They don't know what wilderness is. They don't know what wildlife is. They have no clue how dangerous things actually are outside of their bubble. So they choose the bear. And I mean, they also
Service
probably have
guarantees
had some very
citizenship.
negative experiences with men. So if they're just drawing on their own experience, never seen a bear before, maybe a man's raped them before. Okay, I get. Like, I understand their point of view. They're very wrong, but I can understand how they got to that point of view. The issue ultimately, I think, is that it's less about the bears, and it's more about the fact that post feminism, men have become this unknown quantity to women, and vice versa, right? Like beforehand, nowadays you see basically a whole bunch of women who are scared and neurotic, and they think there's like a giga rapist around every single corner, and like just going outside, there's this constant barrage of sexual assault coming at them from all directions, and just their very existence is terrifying. Meanwhile, you have men who are bitter and lonely, and they're incels, and they can't get girlfriends, and they hate the world, and they hate women, and they hate themselves, right? And what's kind of happened in both of these cases is that neither sex really understands each other anymore. And a lot of that happened. It was one of the very unfortunate side effects of feminism. So here we are.
Yeah. See, this is the origins of the dog pill. This is why women started fucking dogs.
You think so?
Rain Terror. So they're
Service
using
guarantees
deviant tactics
citizenship.
where you can't pin him down on a position. That's true. Though Dev
What
does
do you
take
mean?
stances. Just the other day, he made a very pro-fascism video. So that's the deviant stance.
Here's the thing. Like, okay, I've been accused of being a grifter and simply saying what my audience wants to hear, and I'm bad faith. And I'm like, hold on, guy, like, of all the negative things that I could be, that is definitely not one of them. I've torched my own view count, I've torched my own sub count, going to war with my own audience when I think they're all wrong. All right, you could call me incorrect, but you can't call me bad faith. You can't call me a grifter, right? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
The Dev is like water, always flowing, never standing still.
No. See, here's the thing. I do pin myself down. I'm not slippery. I pin myself down in positions. They're just positions people don't like, but I'm solidly on them.
Glowy, there probably needs to be a back to basics with Batman, fighting mobsters, showing the rot of society, as well as the political sway or politicians that brought out the need for Batman. Maybe this is parents' murder got out of jail by maybe that his parents' murderer got out of jail by corrupt judges. You know, there needs to be a return to normalcy. Unironically, we need to have Superman saving dogs out of trees and shit like that, okay? We need some basic
Heresy's
bitch
the
heroics,
question. Fire
first
is
and
the
foremost.
answer.
And then we can work our way up to Steppenwolf and Apocalypse and Doomsday and Darkseid and all of that shit.
I mean, I generally agree with you. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I
Service
think
guarantees
basically that
citizenship.
those kind of superheroes just don't really work anymore. Now, that doesn't mean that we should make like these postmodern superheroes where like everything's morally relative. But I mean, like, Batman, like the ethos, not ethos. The wider setting of Batman is one where you have like a decaying city where organized crime rules the day. All right.
Mhm.
The current situation that we have right now is not really necessarily about organized crime, not in the way that it used to be. Now, like, all of America's inner city problems are like ethnic problems, right? Or like insane people. It's not a mafia problem, but in Batman it was a mafia problem. So it's almost like because Batman and Superman were made in a specific era, as we get further and further away from that era, adapting those stories to the modern day makes no sense, right? I think at this point you need to set Batman back in like the 1930s. You just
Yeah.
kind of have to, or like the 1920s. You have to do that now because Batman in 2024 actually makes no sense.
I agree. Batman should be set in the 40s, 50s, 60s, stuff like that. Absolutely. But it would also be very tempting to do a Batman where he deals with today's problems. But Batman's
It would have to be
primary
like a
opponents
different
are
type-
feminism and corrupt politicians, social engineering society.
And I mean, meanwhile, like a Spider-Man seems to be more of a product of like the 70s, I think, right? Like it's very clear that these heroes have a specific era that they're based out of. And as we move further and further away from that era, having them set in the present day just makes less and less sense. And you can see how the various formulas kind of start to fall apart around it, right? So we probably need like a superhero that is explicitly made for 2024 and not just something adapted from the past.
Like, honestly, have Batman versus the cartels. The only...
Batman fight the Mexican cartels.
Yeah, no, unironically, well, he'd start out fighting a lot of black people, and then eventually he'd find the source.
Oh God, so one of the chats is Batman versus George Floyd.
Well, yes, like, the fentanyl percentage in this man's body is off the scales. Is that a fine, Walter? Also, Dev, this is just total valid woman being woman in women's spaces. They're using the same ideology that was used to destroy men's spaces. That's true. Women plus are women. Prison Warrior Arch. If you love Warhammer 40k inspired music, I highly recommend checking out the YouTube channel The Misfit Brigade and The Automatic Singer. The music from The Automatic Singer is mostly AI generated, and it is surprisingly good. Oh no, I am not surprised by anything AI being good. I'm surprised by anything made by humans being good. Glow in the dark. I take credit for everything on the internet. Well, and that's my position. Can't wait for Robin to be gay like all the comics. I mean, if they did Robin today, he would be gay. There's no doubt. Absolutely none. He'd have a boyfriend. No fucking question.
You think so?
Oh,
you don't think they'd be a bit weirded out about they wouldn't call it homophobic by the fact that Robin's like a young gay boy who's living with Batman who's probably fucking him?
No, because it wouldn't be Batman who's fucking him. Like, that'd be weird. That would be weird. Come here, Robin. That would be weird. Oh, have you seen female Robin, by the way?
You mean from The Dark Knight Returns?
Is it from The Dark Knight Returns?
It's like a 1980s comic, right?
No, it's much newer. Carrie Kelly is apparently her name.
Nope, that's not new. I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. Did you actually read The Dark Knight Returns 1986?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. I like their depiction of Reagan. Of Ronald Reagan. Fucking but here, Dark Knight Returns is basically where edgy Batman started, and it's considered probably one of the best comics of all time. It's really good. It actually is really good. And basically, the TLDR of the story is that superheroes are outlawed. Superman is a government stooge working for the American government. He's kind of been brought under heel, and Batman retires as a grumpy old man. This is where we first got grumpy old
no,
Batman.
I have read this. Yeah, no, I'm remembering this now.
Yeah. So what happened basically is that Robin died at some point. And then there was this young street anarchist who is specifically meant to be an ugly 14-year-old girl. And that's specifically her character.
Yep.
And that was Carrie Kelly. And Carrie Kelly is just this ugly, like, homeless anarchist who has nothing else going for her, but she ends up joining up with Batman because, like, her life is shit anyway, and he clearly needs a sidekick, so it's like, fuck it, okay, you can join in. And that there was kind of like a strange authenticity to her character because she was ugly, frankly. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't meant to be a sexual character. She had other things going for her, and she was kind of an interesting inclusion. However, I'm not surprised if they've adapted her further out of that story into something else. Is there a modern version of her that kind of ruins her?
I don't know. Once you started talking, I started remembering the thing you were talking about. And that is where I know her from. And they produced actually a frightening quantity of pornography around those two.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Service
That's the internet.
guarantees
That's how it is.
citizenship.
It's the internet. And yeah, that is very much so like Grumpy Batman, the classic massive jawed Grumpy Batman.
Yeah, right. So here. I see the picture that you currently have up, right? And how it's grumpy old man Batman, and then they didn't make her nearly ugly enough in this interpretation of it that you have up on screen. Like, here, give me a second. Like, yeah, I'll post this. This is some panels from the original comic in 1986. Where basically it's like she is a very low class person. She's an orphan. She's homeless. She's unattractive. She's kind of dumb. She has like nothing going for her, right? So her helping the Batman is basically her only ticket out of that life, right? And she knows it. And so she's like in this scene, she's kind of like sprucing herself up as best she can because she's like, listen, this is my one shot to have a real life, and I better not fuck it up. And there was a lot of sincerity to her character. I'm gonna assume they stripped out all of that meaning in whatever modern interpretation they have now.
I'm sure they have. So John, the Adam West Batman was grand 50s camp. There was also a 70s live-action Spider-Man too. Terrible. Marksman 117B, Max cancelled Cape Crusader, but gave J.D. Abrams the option to sell it to another studio. Surprisingly, J.D. found a sucker. No surprise, it's Amazon. Oh boy. Glow in the dark. Campy 1960s Batman looks bad. Have you ever seen recent kid shows? Old Batman is endearing to me. I have seen recent kid shows. Yes, they look awful. Sven Hallgren. Poison Ivy basically wants to wipe out all animal life that isn't strictly necessary to keep plants alive and try to replace those too. Yes, he's kind of horrible. Glow in the dark. Poison Ivy sees herself as a mother nature in lore. Yeah, I would say that's accurate. Antelope. Batman is white male rage. Rah. Oh god, the Joker. Okay, the Joker part 2 is gonna suck. I'm calling it right now. The Joker 2 is gonna be awful.
It might be. Who knows? You could be surprised.
It's gonna be awful because it's introducing Harley Quinn. That's why I'm saying it's gonna be awful. Because this is the current year, and you cannot have a supporting female character. You cannot have an ancillary female character. It is not going to be the Joker Part 2. It's going to be Harlequin the movie. Precisely like Napoleon was a movie about Josephine.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. I understand that point. I mean, it still might be good.
Nope.
You don't think that Lady Gaga would be a good... It's like, I've seen pictures of her, and she looks like appropriately cracked out.
Yeah, but that's not the point. Like, Harley Quinn isn't... See, that's the thing. The Joker looking like absolute shit, looking actually disgusting, is fine. Like, it is an uncomfortable movie to watch, in my opinion. Like, you're sitting there, it's like, oh, I'm not really enjoying this, but I'm also really interested in seeing where it's going. Like seeing a 15-pile car pile up. Blood, guts, broken people all over the place. I'm like, this is pretty terrible, but I do like watching it. He's not going to be there. He's not going to be allowed to do the things he did in the first one. All of his scenes will be her scenes. All of his lines will be her lines. The only way this could possibly work is basically if Joaquin Phoenix steals his own movie away from her.
I mean, maybe. We'll have to see. I'm not necessarily holding out hope, but I will see it because I'm at least interested. I can think of some ways that it would go very poorly and some ways that it can go very well. So we just have to see.
And to finish the point, Harlequin isn't supposed to be that. Harlequin is supposed to be hot. Harlequin is supposed to be attractive because this is a point about the Joker. The Joker is supposed to be revolting, but you're also supposed to look at him a little bit like an icon of liberation, as a crazy person. That's what they captured in the Joker 1. The man who goes, I am sick and tired of pretending that it isn't funny. That was a moment of liberation. A lot of people looked at it like, yeah, I'm fucking sick and tired of pretending that this isn't funny.
I said that in my fascism video recently, yes.
Yes, I'm sure you did. It's a good point. Harley's supposed to be his hot girlfriend. Harley's supposed to be like, wait, hold on. if you're crazy and just open about it and just mad, you'll get a hot girl. You'll get a gang. You'll make something out of yourself. That's the aspirational part of the Joker, because you can't have just the disturbing. If a villain is nothing but
Service
terrible,
guarantees citizenship.
you're not going to like him. You're not going to root for him. You're not going to care about him. You're not going to care about his fate. You need to have something positive in even the most terrible villain.
I think I mostly agree with you on that. Yeah. Well, it's like I said earlier. I mentioned that there's like those 3 common iterations of what Harley is, right? And I think you could do like here if the Harley Quinn of this iteration is just crack addict Harley Quinn, I think that actually pairs nicely with this specific iteration of the Joker, because this Joker was not the criminal mastermind of previous Jokers.
True, if that is what she is, but again, that would make her an ancillary character.
Mm-hmm. We'll just have to see. It could be okay. It could be okay. You know what? Here, how about this? I will at least here, since I'm hedging my bet so much, I will put one solid stake into the ground for you guys to peg me with later.
The Deviant Water holds.
So, if you guys want to throw this back in my face later, you can, okay? At the very least, she will be better than Margot Robbie's version.
Well, there you go. The Deviant Lake has stopped moving for a second. Remember that, chat?
And, man, if somehow she's
Service
worse than that, I'm going to have egg in my
citizenship.
face. But it would be an impressive feat to be worse than that.
No one. The only valid old Bruce was from Batman Beyond. Yes, no, I actually liked Batman Beyond old Bruce because he wasn't just grumpy old Batman. He had a fucking reason to be grumpy old Batman. He had been fighting crime his entire fucking life until he was like, literally, I'm too old for this shit. Of course he's bummed out. Of course he's depressed. And now, here comes Terry McGinnis like, hey, I would like to fight crime for my entire life too. Of course he's going to look at him and be like, oh, God, not again. And only through a long period of interacting with Terry McGinnis and watching that there is still hope does he kind of like rediscover that, yeah, maybe there is still a point in the Batman. Maybe the world can still be made a better place. And then Batman Beyond was cancelled, so fuck you, old Bruce, I guess.
Oh man, I just looked it up. The long off future era of Batman Beyond is 2019.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, again, where are the flying cars, I guess? Wasn't it like we were only a few years away from Demolition Man or something?
Yeah, that was like 95, I think. What a shit show. I love it when shows do that, when they pick an arbitrary point in the future, but it's just not far enough. So people who, were alive to remember it were like, oh, we're actually here, and it's not that at all. You gotta pick like 100 years in the future or something.
Yeah, at least. A guy under a bridge. First, we want hot. L, take Dev. Second, I don't give a fuck. How about they want her to be DC Diet Deadpool? She helped kill thousands, often in horribly painful ways. Yes.
That's fine. Listen, I'm not defending Harley Quinn here, guys. I'm just describing what's going on.
The only redemption for Harley Quinn needs to be a long and terrible one. Cartography Prime. Batman used to be one of my favorite heroes, but his modern version is removed a lot I like. He's not a detective anymore, just a broody ninja. Yes, that too. Gigatwin. Mordheim City of the Damned has a higher concurrent player count than Suicide Squad game does. Take a victory lap in memory of Patriarch the Rat Ogre.
Oh my god, listen, Gotham Knights has a higher player count than Suicide Squad. And Gotham Knights is all the bad shit the Suicide Squad is. It's an always online game where you're constantly just looting new guns and looting new weapons, and it's terrible. And even that, like, the other version of Suicide Squad has more players than Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is like a complete and total failure.
It is actually, a quick segue, since this is a very short topic, but that does need to be mentioned. did you see just how much money it lost?
200 million.
Mm-hmm. For relevant comparison, that would put it amongst the largest entertainment flops ever. Like the movies that lost the most money ever was like $283 million.
That's crazy, man. Hold on. I'm gonna look something up because I know for a fact. Okay. Right. Right. Okay. Do you recall Shenmue?
Shenmue. Not at the top of my head.
1999 Dreamcast. Shenmue.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember now.
Yeah.
That whole thingy bob. Yeah.
Yeah. Where that was at the time, it cost 70 million to make back in 99. All right. Considered one of the most expensive games, scaled up for inflation, to ever make. And also one of the biggest flops to ever happen. Like Shenmue, like it's actually a pretty good game because I've played through it, and it just didn't. I mean, probably because it was on the Dreamcast, and the Dreamcast was dead when it came out. But like, Shenmue is one of those games where like people really like it, and it's like a lost series because it died too early, and it actually had like a really intricate story that everyone wanted to see resolved, and it was cut short. Like you know how fans get with this sort of thing. It's like the Firefly syndrome, right?
Yep.
When a game or a show is canceled way too soon, and it's not the fault of the actual quality of the art itself. Like fans get up in arms about that, and then it becomes like a whole thing that lasts for decades. Shenmue's in that, and Shenmue is known, I think, until this game was known to be the biggest video game flop in history, in video game history. I think it was Shenmue. Maybe E.T. before it, but because E.T. was crazy as well back in the 80s. But yeah, I think Suicide Squad has finally dethroned Shenmue in this regard.
Yes.
And that's that's crazy because that's a big fucking failure.
So I have a list here over the biggest failures, and this is in movie history, to make the budget even larger, right?
Mm-hmm.
The largest failure is John Carter. Do you remember that one from 2012? The John Carter of Mars?
Fuck John Carter. No, I don't. I don't remember that. I'm glad I didn't watch it, I guess.
Yep. Its estimated loss was from 150 million to 265 million. Recently, The Marvels, that awful The Marvels movie, estimated loss 237 million. The 13th Warrior, by the way, that's my Shenmue. The 13th Warrior was an amazing fucking movie. The 13th Warrior was an incredible movie. God, now I'm gonna go download the 13th Warrior again because the 13th Warrior was incredible. Have you watched the 13th Warrior?
I've never heard of it, unfortunately.
Oh.
This is all news to me.
God. Okay, so the 13th Warrior is an amazeballs movie. It was killed because of its casting. Straight up, honestly.
Service guaranteed
because it
citizenship.
was supposed to be like this really hardcore action adventure style thing, and it is, but it features like the softest, most pathetic looking man ever. God, what was his name?
In what role?
As the main
As the main
character,
hero?
as the badass warrior.
Oh, I guess I'll just look up real quick.
What the hell was his name? He was famous. He was really famous back then. Antonio Banderas. That was his fucking name.
Yeah. Well, he was Zorro, and he was good as an action hero in Zorro.
Yes, but he looks such a softie on the cover. He looks like such a goddamn softie, and it makes it worse because he's surrounded by these enormous fuck off blonde Viking warriors too, and they all look at him like tiny. And it had no marketing. It was terribly fucking presented. It's like Dread 3D, where the title alone sinks it. It's a 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And he was released at exactly the wrong time as well. But The 13th Warrior is an amazing movie that everyone needs to watch. It's incredible.
It had no marketing. Hold on. Production and marketing costs range from $100 to $160 million.
Is this really? Holy
Wonder-
shit. I never heard about this movie before I saw it on the television back in the day.
Oh no, it seems like the problem was in editing. It had like 4 different editing cuts that all got like tested and released, and no one liked them. So there's probably something behind the scenes that was fucking with the movie.
Maybe, because like it's a fantastic fucking movie. God, it's great. The action is good, the pacing is good, the story, the suspense, it's even got a nice little touch of a mild horror element to it. It's such a good movie. It's such a good goddamn movie. But where was I?
I wonder if you'll download it from the Pirate Bay now, and the version you get will be one of the bad cuts, and it'll just be
Ugh.
terrible.
I'm hoping not. I'm really, really hoping not. Okay, I'm getting that immediately because God, I need to watch that again. It's such a good movie. It's such a fucking good movie. Anyways, yes. This means that Suicide Squad is. Let's see here. It's the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the 9th largest flop in entertainment history, in between Battleship, which is also a good movie, by the way, and Strange World, that awful, weird, non-binary Disney movie that they released a while ago that nobody watched.
I don't even remember what it was, man. I've never heard of this one either. I'm glad I'm not hearing of all this nonsense.
So yeah, Suicide Squad makes history. It's unbelievably bad. It was an unbelievably large failure, and the worst part is, did you see Warner Brothers commenting on the flop shortly after it, where they said that they were going to refocus on mobile games because the AAA gaming market was just too unpredictable?
Listen, you could make a good fucking game.
Yes.
I mean, look at Stellar Blade.
Yeah, that was exactly my reaction. Like, shut up, Warner Brothers. The market isn't unpredictable. In fact, everyone predicted this. You have a game set around the villains, set around Harley Quinn, setting around a bunch of assholes. Like, fucking Boomerang is a main character in your show, killing the Justice, killing Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman, and you're like, oh, nobody liked it. Oh, who knows why? It's so difficult to predict the market. And the worst part is, it's Kevin Conroy's Batman too. Like,
It's not his last one. Everyone said it was his last one. There's 2 more coming out that he recorded before he died.
Oh,
so
that's
don't
nice.
worry. It's not his last one. So here's the thing. It's not a great story, right? But they do at least justify it all, because all of the it's like
all the heroes were brainwashed.
Yeah, all the heroes are brainwashed. It's an apocalyptic situation where they get the Suicide Squad to do it because they have nobody else to do it.
Yeah.
They just have no one else. And so it's like their last final act of desperation, and then you have these 4 bumbling idiots who actually manage to come together and kill the Justice League. And it's like, you know what? That could have been a decent story if they had any good fucking writers, because everyone likes a good come from behind David versus Goliath story. And I will even give the game some credit. All right, the first boss fight where you actually are fighting a member of the Justice League, you're fighting the Flash, and the game, I'm going to spoil it because I know none of you give a shit. The game puts it in your head very, very well that you are just 4 idiots with guns, and these are super powered metahumans that can instantly kill you, because the Flash basically executes Lex Luthor by pulling his heart out with super speed. Right? He does something that you would see in The Boys, basically. Remember that first scene where A-Train runs through Huey's girlfriend and she just like liquefies?
Yep.
And that was like, yeah, he does something akin to that, where he just like very quickly reaches inside of Lex Luthor's chest and pulls out his heart and shows it to him, and then he dies. And they make it very clear, listen, you have no defenses. These people will actually just kill you. And there's no fighting back. They're basically like gods, and you have to fight one of them, and you basically you get like some sort of like doohickey that nullifies his speed force, and you can actually, like, he moves a little bit slower, and they make it work, but they treat the fight with an appropriate level of seriousness, given that it is a David versus Goliath fight, and it actually works really, really well, that first fight. The issue ultimately is that they do the exact same thing for all of the Justice League fights in the game. they invent a doohickey, and then you go and use it on him. Even the mechanics are the same. There's an ability called Countershot, and every single doohickey that nullifies a superpower is used through Countershot. So it's actually the same gameplay mechanics for every single boss fight, which immediately destroys all tension. But that first time when you have to fight the Flash, there's actually you actually feel it. It's like, oh, you actually could write a decent story a little bit. For 5% of this game, you could actually do something interesting. So it's a story that could have worked if put into the hands of a significantly more competent team. It's just these people all fucking sucked.
And if it was a completely different time. Because again, even if this was the best game ever, it would have flopped for the simple reason that right now, nobody wants to watch Harley Quinn kill fucking Batman. We are not in the cultural headspace now
Heresy's the question.
where we need
Fire
the
is
hero
the
to be taken
answer.
down a peg because Batman's already on his lowest fucking peg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. They're not tearing down Titans right
Yes.
now.
They're not.
It's
They're just killing
yeah.
Batman again.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's like if they made this game 15 years ago, where these characters are actually at the height of their popularity, and we didn't have all this woke nonsense, and then they made it good, it could be actually a pretty good game. But and also the other aspect of it is that they made it in continuity with the Arkham games, so they ruined all those games retrospectively. Which is like, well, you could have just made it its own continuity, Like we all have enough background knowledge of what the Justice League is and what Batman is and what the Suicide Squad is. We know what's going on. You don't have to make it in continuity with Arkham. The only reason you do that is to tug on the nostalgic heartstrings of people who played the Arkham trilogy and want to see where the story goes. The answer is that it goes fucking nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere. That's where it goes. Tragedy. But that I just wanted everybody to know that Suicide Squad is one of the biggest flops in entertainment history. Be on it.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Okay, the chat is saying yes, Dev. If good people made it, it'd be good. That's besides the point. No. You're not guessing what I'm saying. All right. So V and I have had this debate over whether it's incompetence or malice. Right. Is it that they're just shitty at their job and they can't make a good game, or are they actually purposely making bad games because they hate you and because they're ideologues? All right. And the answer for everything, as always, is it's a bit of both. If you look at, for example, Spider-Man 2, it's more malice because Spider-Man 2 is actually a really competent game. There's actually a lot of interesting things in there, but they purposely made what's her fucking name?
Mary
MJ.
Jane.
Yeah,
Looked
they
like a
purposely made her
man,
ugly.
yes.
They purposely made her ugly. Now, everyone thought that MJ was modeled after the one of the homely looking writers. That went viral on Twitter. It's actually not true. I looked into that. That wasn't true. In fact, Arch, I'll get you the picture so you can take a look at it if you like. Here. This is the model doing the MJ face scanning for Spider-Man 2. Okay? And this is how she actually looks. She's a very good-looking woman. All right? So they took a woman who is very good-looking, and they got a face scan of her, and then they explicitly dumbed her down and not dumbed her down, like uglified her down, right? They made her more homely looking. They made her look like a middle-aged woman, okay? Even though the rest of the game is actually quite competent. So why do they do that? Well, it's probably some, feminist male gaze bullshit. So for them, it's malice, right? It's more malice than competence, for sure. With Suicide Squad, it's the opposite way around. With Suicide Squad, it actually is more incompetence than malice. There is a bunch of malicious elements in there for sure. We are not in the cultural headspace to want to kill Batman right now. I understand. You got the female empowerment stuff with Harley. I get it. Harley rejects her old, revealing outfit and like a scene in the game. I completely get it. But even if you wrote a completely good, non-woke story, the game itself, the gameplay is just so fundamentally flawed in Suicide Squad that it couldn't have been made by talented people. It just couldn't have. So it's one of those things where it's obviously both, but it depends which game we're talking about. It's not like and I just want you guys to understand. Yeah, the entire chat's reading at me, but I'm correct about this. I know V's a game dev. V being a game dev doesn't apply to this conversation. Okay, listen, guys. If you took all the woke shit out of Suicide Squad, it would still be a god awful, terrible fucking game. All right, it's just the truth. I mean, chat, do you think that it wouldn't be? Here, chat, answer yes or no to this, chat, okay? Do you think that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League would be a good game if all of the woke writing was removed from it? Yes or no?
Dev, why are you attacking chat again? Poor chat.
Because they're being retarded. I want to see
I
what
will
they're gonna say
defend
about
you,
it.
chat.
Service
Dev,
guarantees
being mean to chat for no
citizenship.
particular reason.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Look at all those no's coming in. So you agree with me? Then why are you getting on my fucking case? Okay. All right. What's next super chat, Arch?
I'm being mean to... Dev's being mean to chat. Okay, where was I? That's a good question. President 181. My grandmother died this week. I'm very sorry to hear it, my dude. And it just feels weird. For me, my grandmother had always been someone I see a couple of times a year. And even when you know they are getting old and you never really think about it, someday being the last time you see them. Yeah, no, I totally get it. Like that retrospective moment's like, wow, that was the last time I saw that person. Makes it all feel weird.
Or the last time you did that thing. You know,
Yes.
Last time you went down to whatever watering hole you enjoyed when you were in your teens or your 20s, you know.
Yeah.
Last time you saw those friends, last time you hung out with them.
At some
time you
point, you said
played
goodbye to
N64?
your childhood friends for the last time, and you had no idea.
Yeah.
Yep. Chloe, maybe make Penguin's parents complicit in the murder and helping him. Then after Batman starts on his
Service
crusade, show
guarantees
how it starts to
citizenship.
clean up Gotham Society, gets brighter and more welcoming, but as all things, evil will find a way, so more supervillains show up. Yeah, no, we need more of a hopeful story. We need Batman actually rebuilding society.
Service
I would like that for
guarantees
once.
citizenship.
Batman actually doing something positive. Sven Hallgren, isn't Batman supposed to be like the Night Haunter? No. Night Haunter is significantly more violent than Batman is. And without the serial killer thing, says Sven Hallgren. Well, kind of, but without the serial killer and without the torturing thing. And without the making example of people thing. Some ordinary gamers finally dropped Keffel's vid woo. Someone finally dropped Keffel's vid woo.
So some ordinary gamers, otherwise known as Mutahar, he's a YouTuber. He has 3.5 million subs or something. He's been advertising since the start of the year. He's been working on a giant Keffels video, and he dropped it an hour ago.
Oh. Is it good?
I don't know. It came out an hour ago. His videos, he usually does like some deep dives into things. Like he's known for doing those huge multi-hour videos of like just big dives. Yeah. So it's probably good. I know he talked about it a bit on Destiny's stream at one point, and he actually used Destiny's giant document of all the Keffels details he could find.
Service guarantees
There's probably decent stuff in there. It
citizenship.
probably is basically like the death knell for Keffels' career.
Well, such a nice person, too.
God, she's fucking terrible.
Sven
Well, so hold on.
Go on.
Did you hear? Just I'll give you a 20-second Keffels TLDR. Right? You recall that she said she had to like leave Canada and move to Ireland because she was being stalked by Kiwi farms. And where'd all that $100,000 of money she raised go? You know, like what's going on? Are you just vacationing there? No, what you took donations? What is it all for? That all came out, right? It turns out that she actually wasn't stalked by Kiwi farms at all. She had an abusive partner that she was running away from, and she moved to another country to get away from them because they were fucking insane. And that's what happened. And she just blamed it all on Kiwi farms because she could.
Why not?
It was all fake. It was all fake.
Well, Dev, I think it's time for the line, Dev.
What's the line?
Leftists always lie.
If you view me as a leftist and I'm not lying to you, what does that say about that logic there, Arch?
My definition is perfectly circular, Dev. I can apply it or not apply it whenever the fuck I want. I've learned many things from the left. But, on from one liar to another, Helldivers 2. Okay, so, I know a lot of people were like, Sony has capitulated, let's reward Helldivers 2 with good reviews. You're all dumb, you're all gay, you're all stupid. You shouldn't have done it.
You don't think we should We should give him carrots as well as sticks.
Nope, stick. Only stick. Only stick. There shall be no language of the oppressed beyond the stick, and I am the oppressed. Because it turns out now that, you know all those PlayStation Network countries where the PSN network wasn't actually available?
Yep.
Sales are still locked in all of those countries.
On Steam?
Yep.
So, So the implication then is that they're just going to quietly reintroduce this down the line when no one cares anymore?
Yep.
It's very possible.
Otherwise, why would you bother cutting yourself off from sales if you didn't have some sort of long-term strategy here? Now, to be fair, maybe they haven't gotten around to it yet, but I think just the other day they added more countries to the list. Here we go.
Yeah, that seems pretty bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, so they added the Balkans, Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia to the list as well. So they're not removing stuff; they're adding to the list. So I think it's far too early to start giving carrots. If the
Actually, do you
time
have
to
that
give
tweet?
Carrots ever comes.
The tweet you currently have up. Do you mind putting that in the link channel? Because I'll probably use it.
It's already in the link channel, Dev.
Oh, is it? I must have missed it.
where I
Let me
found
scroll
it.
back up. Oh, sorry. I'll scroll back. We have so much shit in here now.
Don't worry, it'll all get deleted soon.
Yeah, how come you wipe the link channel after every stream?
Because it'll be less full of shit that way. It'll be more organized. And, of course, Ghost of Tsushima, also a big name, hyped up release, also has PSN account requirements, and this time they're doubling down. They are offering refunds, incidentally, but they are not backing down on it. You must have your PlayStation Network account with this one. And
So here's the thing, right? I do have a question about this, if you don't mind.
okay.
I don't like the idea of any of these things requiring you to have some sort of off-platform account. I don't like any of it. None of it should be happening, right? I don't like it when EA does it because they also do it. I don't like when Ubisoft does it because Ubisoft also does it. I don't like it when Sony does it. Why do you think Sony's getting much more backlash than Ubisoft or EA or Xbox? Because they all do it too.
Simply because it was Helldivers.
You think so? It's just it was this game and the fact that it was like underhanded, and now anything Sony is tainted basically.
Well, it wasn't underhanded at all. Like they announced it clearly, and then they said like, okay, yeah, we're messing this up. We're gonna waive the requirement for 6 months. Like they weren't being stealthy about this, really. They were being quite open about it, but people forgot about it. So, and then it kind of came quickly because I guess they didn't feel they needed to remind anyone, I suppose. And then it arrived, and a lot of people got very angry, and it got very popular because Helldivers 2, well, it's very beneficial to write Helldivers 2 in the title of your video, Dev.
How have the algorithms rewarded you, Arch?
Oh, the algorithm has been very kind to Helldivers 2, which is currently my most watched video at 469,000 out 2 months ago.
Oh, that's pretty cool, yeah.
Service guarantee.
And everyone realized this. Oh, except for Dev, I guess.
Yeah, I just didn't do a video on it. I was doing other things.
It was going to get a lot of coverage, and it did get a lot of coverage, a massive amount of coverage, and everyone... There was only one good side here. There was no moral ambivalence between these two. You know, it was bad and good. That was it. And then it was also added to... by the company's community managers stepping in it again and again and again, making it even more drama, feeding even more content, until PlayStation Network were like, okay, this shit ain't gonna die, we're gonna have to back off. How do we do it? Do we offer refunds? Oh, fuck no, it's too much money. So we're just gonna say we're not gonna do it, and then we're gonna sit back, and we're gonna wait.
Well, I know that Steam eventually made him do it. Steam eventually made him offer refunds. Which is, that's good. All right. Good job, Steam.
Conflicting reports on that. I know mine was rejected, but apparently you needed to to send another one, and that one would be reviewed by a human, and that one would possibly be accepted.
Oh.
So it's a little bit unclear. And here's the thing, too. one of the big reasons why they're going to push for this, why they're pushing for it in Ghost of Tsushima, is because Microsoft, as you mentioned, Microsoft is doing their own platform, right?
Yep.
They've been sniffing around Helldivers as well. They've been offering it Xbox deals. Now, how would you, as Sony, feel if Microsoft, especially considering the recent controversy between those companies, Call of Duty, buying up Blizzard and Bethesda and all that, starts going towards Helldivers 2, your one big success in recent memory, and starting to be like, hey, do you want to be on our platform?
Well, I think the issue there is that I think Sony actually owns the Helldivers IP, so it's not going to happen. They're just going to be like, no, fuck you. But I understand your point, yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm sure Sony would actually like to have the extra sales that a deal with Microsoft would generate, but they need to have it on the PlayStation Network. That's the thing. They've got to have it on their network system. Otherwise, all of this is just going to be feeding into other competitors again.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, Sony really is kind of just taking L after L after L right now.
Yes.
So is Microsoft. It has its own problem. Like, we just saw the layoffs and all that shit. But I think Microsoft's overall faring better than Sony is.
Yeah. And that's, of course, why they're going to be desperate. And desperate companies do a lot of weird shit. So I say that there's no time to start being nice now. Continue to treat the company like a POW. Continue to treat Arrowhead as a POW. Arrowhead is not guiltless in this by any stretch of the imagination. They hired these community managers. They did the deal with Sony originally. They signed on the dotted line. Treat companies like prisoners of war. Abuse them, beat them, hurt them. Give them only the most absolute base of human rights until they have a proven track record of a month or more at least before you start petting them neatly, okay?
Yep, I understand your point of view. I don't know though. I think you need to give feedback like soon enough after the correction, so that they know that they're actually receiving good feedback.
Listen, Dev.
They can make the connection.
They're not dogs. Yeah, they're people. They're human beings. They have long-term memories. If a dog poops on your carpet, yeah, don't beat him a day later. Like, just, bad dog, he won't get it. But Arrowhead will. They're human beings. They'll get the long-term consequences of being asked to wait for a while. It's like, okay, we'll return your positive reviews in a week, at least. They can wait a week or 2 weeks. And if they keep doing good things, then they can have their reviews back.
Okay, I understand your point, yeah.
Though, and I would like it if Microsoft would pick up Helldivers 2 instead, because I like Microsoft. Microsoft killed NTR Rush, an act for which I will be forever grateful.
Listen, Microsoft, okay, has basically gutted a shit ton of really interesting companies, but you know who they didn't gut? The team that made fucking Starfield.
Oh yeah, you know
like what the fuck, Microsoft?
They also did. There was oh god, what was it? And Fabled? No. There was a studio that was in the news recently. One of their artists was saying some really spicy shit on the internet about Grumps, about how people should look into his family and string up the families of people who said mean things on the internet.
Oh my god, dude! If you have that, you gotta send it to me. That's fucking wild. I gotta see this shit.
It is pretty fucking wild. I'm actually looking through my my screenshot
folder?
repertoire now. See if I have it anywhere.
Like, that sounds fucking insane, dude.
If not, you're gonna have to nab it out of my video on it.
Okay, I'll take a look in your channel. Let's see. What video is it?
How should I know, Dev? I don't have long-term memory either. See, I just recently made a lore video, and so I've filled up my... There we go! Yeah, there we go. Here, I'll put it in the link channel.
Okay.
So, this guy...
Holy shit, this is wild.
Yes. Yes. So this was surrounding... This guy worked for Black Library. He's working for another game company. And this was a recent bit of harassment against another YouTuber whose name blank on now. But basically, the Kotaku journalist, Alyssa Mercante, contacted this YouTuber's wife and was like, hey, your husband's a creep. Look at him. He's being mean to me on the internet. And this guy then responds, says, this is absolutely the play. We should be doing this with all these weird creeps. Track down their significant others and mothers and string them up.
Oh my, actually, that reminds me of something now. Do you recall way back in the day, I think this was like 2017 or 2018, where a bunch of feminists found Sargon's wife, like her personal Facebook account, and started messaging her?
Yep, I remember that.
Oh my God. And they were just saying, like, they're messaging her saying, do you understand what kind of an incel your husband secretly is on the internet? I know you probably don't watch him on the internet because it's like internet stuff, right? But did you understand that you've married an incel? And she was just like, fuck off. Why do you think it would be appropriate to contact me about this shit? I completely support my husband.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And this was even before the incel thing, so I don't even think they used that. But misogynist,
no, they didn't use that.
Absolutely, all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite a little thing. It was absolutely quite a little thing.
I found it. You know what? We had to dig back very deep into the Sargon archive, but I found it. He posted it on Twitter on 2015.
The deep Sargon archives. Oh, there you go, yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
If you are aware of and approve of some of the stuff your fiancé, Carl Benjamin, has said on YouTube, goes by the username Sargon of Cad, has made a number of videos I think are pretty troubling. Most of his videos consist of him attacking feminists, and while I haven't watched most of them, he has said a couple of things that I think are concerning. In one video, he's expressing disgust at a heavy woman who wears bikinis. God damn it. Old
Sargon
feminism.
He calls women who are over 30 and have multiple sex partners used slappers.
I mean, what can I say?
Wait, she linked the same video. The first and second link are the same link.
Listen.
Was it meant to be two different videos?
Listen, Sargon says a lot of things in the same video, okay?
Yeah. And she says, I was able to find and contact you because he has purposely shared his name and address in one of his videos. Yeah, that, man. Like, that's wild.
Yep.
Person who hates Sargon so much, they're going to go and find his fiance, now wife, fiance then, and message them and be like, hey, are you okay? I heard that you're dating a misogynist YouTuber. Like, what the fuck, dude?
This has always been the left. Always,
yep.
Dev. They're bad people, Dev. They're bad people. Dev, stop bringing them over here, Dev.
Arch, it's okay. I'm bringing the good ones. I'm reforming them.
We'll fucking see about that. But yeah, like this is why, by again, treat companies poorly. Treat companies very poorly. Don't give Arrowhead the benefit of Arrowhead are not your friends. Arrowhead hates you. Arrowhead hires trans people as community managers. Leftists as community managers. Arrowhead wants to hurt you. Don't buy into the bullshit. Dislike Arrowhead, dislike Sony, dislike all corporations. And if you want to reward the corporations, purchase their products. That's the feedback loop we need to return to. We need to return to a feedback loop where every comment, every review, I hated this. I hate the company. I hate the people who made it. I hate the people who work there. But I did buy it, so there you go. That needs to be the most glowing review on a video game. Negative commentary, chat, is more effective than positive commentary. If you wish to turn these companies around, if you actually want them to change, hurt them. They don't care. Praise will run like water off a duck's ass, but slings and arrows will leave the marks you require.
So, I mean, I know that a bunch of people kind of in our general sphere of the internet all started to boycott the Helldivers 2. They weren't playing it anymore. Kibbs kept playing it because Kibbs is a show.
Weak woman. Thank you. Yeah, shit.
I know Sargon stopped though. are people basically coming
Service
back to it now?
guarantees
Like, I think Sargon
citizenship.
restarted playing it again. And is the boycott now lifted?
Hold on, I'm just pinning this. There we go. Like, yes, it seems like the boycott is largely lifted, which is a mistake. Mistake. You're weak, chat. That's the problem. You're too soft. You just want to play the game. Stop playing the game. Bad, chat. Bad.
Well, I'm not playing it. I'm playing Nintendo slop.
An NTR rush. Disgusting.
Oh, by the way, did you hear about the Nintendo censorship?
Nope.
In Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door. You know what that game is?
No, I don't play a children's game.
Well, here's the thing, all right? Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is retrospectively considered probably the best Mario RPG out of all the various Mario RPGs. Released in 2004, and I think it was 2002. I don't remember. It was an early 2000s GameCube game, and I remember loving the shit out of it. All right, it was great. Also, I was younger then, but I've gone back and played it like a few years ago, and it was a quality game. But it's getting a remaster come the end of the month. And there's a bunch of spicy things in that game that you know how it was. Even in a kid's game, you could like do an innuendo, right? That a kid wouldn't get but an adult would. You could do that sort of thing in a kid's game in the 2000s.
Yep.
Can't really do it now. It's all being removed.
Oh.
So
of course.
So, and I know one thing that was changed. Actually, it may even be in that article. I'll scroll down a bit. You have the Game Rant article up, right?
Yep. Seems like it.
Yeah. So scroll down a little bit. See if it's there.
The remake.
Yeah. Changes the controversial Goombella catcalling scene. Okay, so there's a scene where Mario and Goombella, which is like a female Goomba that's kind of in the picture there, they're walking around kind of like the slummy part of town. Because this is supposed to be not the Mushroom Kingdom. This is like a dangerous, large city full of many different ethnic minorities. Unironically, it's like a very multi-ethnic city in the Mario. There's like Goombas and Koopas, and there's Piantas, and like they're all living together. And there's very clearly like ethnic quarters of the city, and they have like gang fights and stuff. It's really funny. It's a very funny kind of game. But there's a scene early in the game where Mario just meets Goombella for the first time, and there's like a Goomba gang, right? And they start catcalling her, and they start, ditch the you should ditch the mustachioed man and come hang out with us, baby, that kind of thing, right? And then she tells them off, and it's like, you guys are you boys are fucking stupid. And then Mario and Goombella like fight them and beat them up, right? And then they run away. And it's kind of a bit of set dressing just to show that you are not in the Mushroom Kingdom. This is actually kind of a dangerous place, but it's done in a goofy way, right? Because like you don't actually kill anyone, you bonk them with a hammer and they go ow and they have a big bump in their head and they run away. But they have a catcalling scene to show that like this is within the bounds that Mario will allow, kind of a rough and tumble place. That's considered sexist, so they took it out. They took it out. They censored the game. In fact, now the catcalling scene has been replaced with a scene on classism. Okay. So now basically the scene is that the Goomba street punks are all they're the underprivileged people who never got a chance to get ahead in life, and Goombella, being a university student, because she goes to U of Goom, okay, University of Goom. So because she's a university student, she's a member of an upper class, and she has more opportunities. So they want to take out some revenge on her for the class difference, and that's what the catcalling scene's been changed to.
Well, that's dumb, and reminds me of the classic Guardian article.
Hmm.
The end of hisses, whistles, and stares. We need to walk the streets without fear. Jessica Valenti. 2014. Men rarely catcall me anymore. I hate that our culture makes me miss it. Jessica Valenti. 1 year later.
Oh fuck, man! I love those like pathetic, like pictures of the article writers on the Guardian they have these little portraits, and they always just look like terrible.
Poor Jessica Valenti.
Oh, also, I mean, there's more. Do you want to go deep into the Paper Mario censorship? Because there's more stuff. There's more stuff in there.
Why not?
Okay, so there's. Oh my! I can't believe we're doing this. I know you don't care. Chat, do you care, or is it only just me? Is it only just me who cares? Is that it?
Dev. Nintendo is
Yes.
for gay people.
I mean, it might be.
It might
But
be, yeah.
it's popular. It's popular, and it is, it does have some cultural sway, and it probably is worth it to talk about these things. Okay, I'll give you a screenshot here, Arch. This is a scene from maybe midway through the game. Okay. And these are the Shadow Sisters, these three people, right? And they're basically just like they're not quite ghosts, they're like shadow people, all right? And they have like shadow magic and fire magic, and they're three witches. And you have the fat one in the middle who's really stupid. You have the old lady one who's kind of like a crone, who's calling the pink and red one a plug ugly. Okay? And I know it's like a cartoony style, so you can't really tell. But basically, the pink and red one is supposed to be the cute one out of the three Shadow Sisters. So in the original version of the game back in 2004, the pink one was actually male, not trans, just a very girly looking boy. And that was you know how Japan likes its traps, right? There's trap characters fucking everywhere, right?
Yep.
So this was supposed to be a trap character. That's specific. It wasn't trans. It was specifically a trap. And they basically insulted this character for it, the two sisters. Now, because it was 2004 and you can't have this sort of gender nonconformity in the West in a children's game, they translated her to be a girl. So now she's a girl, Vivian. They are making her trans in the new translation. They're transifying the character. And in fact, it's not completely confirmed whether or not this guy was legit. We don't fully know yet, but there's a guy who claims to work at Nintendo of America, and there was some credentials that he might have had. It might have been real. It's still it's very up in the air, but he claims to be a translator at Nintendo of America. He was also a fucking diaper fur, and he posted on his personal Instagram account before he locked it down after everyone noticed that he said that he was very proud to have pushed in the writer's room for Vivian to be translated as trans.
Of course.
So, yeah. They're doing another Bridget, where they're turning the girly boys into trans women.
Good.
And the thing is, like, it doesn't matter that much, right? Because it's one game, it's one character in one game. It doesn't matter that much. I mean, it didn't really matter with Bridget either, because Bridget was only in Guilty Gear, and Bridget was only popular kind of on the internet and certain subcultures. Like, these things don't matter in a vacuum, but it's the fact that every single time it happens, right? Every single time, the redheaded character is race swapped to be black. Every single time now. Every single time, the even vaguely feminine male character is made to be a trans woman. Every single time, right? It's the fact that it doesn't matter that it's happening in Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. It matters that it happens all the time, and this is just one data point of thousands of data points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, left his music cancer, Dev.
Hmm.
All of it, Dev.
Yes.
All
I am a
of it, Dev.
centrist, Arch. You know this. Yeah, I'm a centrist, yes.
How can you be on the center, Dev, when you know that everything on the left of you is evil?
Well, because everything on the right of me is evil as well.
Question mark, question mark, question mark. But this is good, Dev. This is good. This is good. Accelerationism. Let's get this into Nintendo.
Accelerationism.
Let's get this into Nintendo. Let's get it into Mario. Come on. Keep it going.
Oh my god.
We
Actually,
cannot allow Nintendo to be a refuge.
Service guarantees citizenship.
You know what, there's actually more lore, but I'm not going to get into it because this is not really the place. But there's more deep lore on this. Well, so someone in the chat's like, holy shit, Dev's becoming a noticer. Listen, all you fucks. I tell V this and I tell Artemis this as well, all right? You guys are all wrong about the noticing, okay? You have like dumb fuck lefties who don't notice a single thing, and they say that if you notice, you're racist, all right? Then you have one level above them. These are dumb fuck right-wingers who notice and then immediately stop thinking and then think that their noticing constitutes actual knowledge, all right? That's not true. Noticing is the beginning, but not the end. You have to keep investigating because sometimes you notice things and then what you noticed actually wasn't true. All right. There actually was a different explanation for it. Now, sometimes there's not. Sometimes it is what it appears to be. You know, sometimes a rose just is a rose, but noticing is the beginning of the process. It's not the final step. All those people who say like, I noticed the fact that it's always a black person doing the crime. And they immediately stop with, therefore, and it's something terrible. It's like, no. You haven't gone far enough in your analysis. All right. It's good that you guys notice. Keep going beyond that. You need to notice and also think. Okay, guys?
I think you chose a poor example there, Dev.
Nah, it's good.
Nah, because there's also another recent change, which makes me think less of black people.
Oh, let's see.
Doctor Who.
Heresy's the question.
Oh, what
Fire
happened?
is the answer.
Doctor Who is now black and gay.
Oh. I mean, isn't the whole point of his lore that he can change it to be whatever he wants to be?
No.
So it's like whatever.
No.
Yeah.
Because I'm noticing, Dev. I'm noticing
he
why this is happening, Dev.
He regenerates, right? So
I
when
am
he regenerates,
noticing the
he can notice
pattern,
whatever.
Dev.
Yeah. Okay,
The
now keep going,
pattern.
though. Keep going after noticing.
Well,
What's next? What's the next step?
the next step is him saying, for every transphobe, racist, bigot Doctor Who fan we lose this season, we're going to get 3 more who want diversity and representation.
So to those fans who are not fans, I say, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Well, then you show them that's not true. You show them with the raw numbers because the numbers don't lie. So like, show him that you don't actually get 3 to 5 new fans for every one fan who leaves. You know, make the show tank.
Of course the show is going to tank. But this demonstrates that this is malicious, that he is evil, that he is our enemy, Dev.
Sure. For this guy, I believe it. Yes.
This is
But here's
the
the
demon.
thing.
No.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'm on pie. I'm completely on board with this. Okay. But here's the thing, right? There is definitely going to be many demons out there who think exactly like this. I mean, you saw the Iron Stylist bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the Iron Stylist guy who's like, listen, if you're anybody who creates any sort of culture or art, you have a moral
Service
obligation to
guarantees
push social justice.
citizenship.
Like that guy, he's very clearly gone mask off, fuck this guy. However, you do encounter people who are actually well-meaning, just uneducated, and they think that this stuff's actually good. And then if you can sit them down and have a reasonable conversation with them, that you can be like, here's the even though it appears fine on the surface, here's the problems with it. All right. And Arch, you know that this is true because you've told me about these people yourself. You've described on your channel many times the uneducated but well-meaning person who is called a racist and says, I don't want to be a racist. How can I fix this? Right. But then the only thing they hear is from the left saying, here's how you fix your racism. And all their advice is fucking terrible. But that well-meaning person can be convinced if they hear things from other people. That's what we have to do. We can't just lump them in with the demons. We must tell them why they're not actually racist.
Well, he's not a demon for being called a racist, Dev, you silly Willy.
This is what I mean, though, is that the well-meaning people do end up joining the malicious aspects of the left eventually. So we have to give them a bridge back out of it. Which, by the way,
Nope.
is why I do just that all the time.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
Build a red
the
bridge.
well-meaning... No. The well-meaning but deceived people must be given a way out, or else they will just further become your enemy some more.
Rattle,
They're not
rattle.
irredeemable.
That's the sound of me raising the bridge, Dev. Once you go left, you're over the bridge.
Someone in the chat says, Dev, hope is a strategy. SFO. Yes, it is. It literally is a strategy. It is in fact the best one. If you have the truth on your side, and you can talk to the reasonable people who have been bamboozled into opposing you, you can definitely move them. Absolutely. I've done it before. I've seen it happen. And in fact, people who think that this can't happen, you're probably just the other version of this. You're probably just like the right-wing version of the malicious lefties, because you know that it can happen, and you know that it'll happen to you too, you fucks. You're all going to be centrist whether you like it or not.
Fire is the answer.
Dev, when you get backstabbed in a few years' time, I'm going to remind you of this conversation.
I've already been backstabbed many times. It's okay.
And I will still remind you of this conversation. When Arch is proven to be right, he will be magnanimous. But he will brag about it, and he will rub it in your face. Right, those are the primary topics for today, so Super Chats, unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
Dinner is ready at 7 o'clock. I've got 20 minutes. We can do Super Chats for a bit.
Wow.
Before I gotta go eat.
Eating hour again. Haven't you eaten already?
Yep.
Heresy's the question.
Well, Naomi's
Fire
making food
is the
tonight, so
answer.
it's not to me. I gotta go when called.
Drunk Atheist. There was a certain Austrian painter who had a youth club. Scouts are a hive of conformity that places men needing to be good fathers. Yeah, I can see that. Scouts are evil. Reject the evil. Marksman 117B, the showrunner who was fired was the writer who supported Cavill on The Witcher. While woke, the man keeps his politics out of his work. He managed to finish Season 2. It's in recording. Season 3 is doomed. So that's about the X-Men 97. Because yes, the writer was apparently woke as shit. And he was the guy who made everybody think that the show was going to be woke. And he was also fired. But it's come out later that he apparently supported Henry Cavill. So, I mean, that's the point, isn't it? I will give Dev one defensible position. If someone is woke, but they can keep their wokeness out of their writing, if they can keep them in a small, locked-off cupboard of shame somewhere, where they can be adequately ridiculed for their ridiculous beliefs, like people who love feet, basically. Those leftists, okay, sure, we can give you a small corner of the internet where you can be allowed to coexist with us. Just so long as you don't bring any feet pictures. Sean King, I missed the weekly sip because it was a day earlier. Now Arch gets my money. Well, Dev.
Oh no! Yeah, I did the weekly sip today instead of tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going on Metal Commander's channel to discuss Stellar Blade.
Oh. You have no schedule.
Yeah, what do you mean? Well, no, usually I do it on Sunday mornings, right? But
it's
the
like
invite
TikTok
is
Tuesday on Wednesday or Thursday or Saturday.
Well, here's the thing. Usually I do weekly sips on Sunday morning, but the exact time of the invite is right when I do the sip, and I wanted to actually do the show, so I rescheduled it a bit. That's okay though. You guys can see me on Metal Commander's channel tomorrow. I think Mauler's going to be there. I think Mark the Cyborg is going to be there, and we're gonna talk about Stellar Blade.
Mark James says, Sony new tactic, mandate PSN accounts for all the games such as Ghost of Tsushima, Micro suck, destroying half of gaming, and Snowy destroying the other half. Well, they did kill NTR Rush, and that's the only good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Zetaphile also says, speaking of Batman, Archly, check out The Batman. I think you like Ethan Bennett. The Batman. The Batman?
Yeah, there is another version of Batman called The Batman.
Anna Slope, I didn't enjoy the demonization of Mr. House, but the Fallout show seemed to receive relatively well. Plus was mostly good. I think Stitch said he liked it. It does very well amongst people who are not necessarily fans of Fallout. And it hasn't had very good ratings.
Citizenship.
Largely because there's nothing else like it on TV. There really isn't. Like there's nothing. There is nothing like it, like a post-apocalyptic show like it. There's nothing like it on TV right now, so it's got to mark it 100% to itself.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's been over a year since The Last of Us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Art Force becomes a member. Thank you very much. Niche XCC 1900. Wasn't Sony going to buy Paramount?
Were they?
Oh,
I don't know.
I feel like Sony isn't in a position to buy anything, even though Paramount is probably not doing well either.
Oh, God. Someone in the chat's like, why do you say these things about the Hi-Fi Rush game? I don't know the context. The context is that I like the game, so Arch wants to make fun of it.
I also hate it, and it has NTR in it, which Dev likes. Mario Trujillo, my adventure with Superman does do a few things right, but the thing it gets wrong, or so bad it drowns out the good, people have zero goodwill left. Yeah, no, absolutely. Very little goodwill. Plus, again, you need to market towards the actual demographic now. Like, marketing something as woke is a very bad idea. TK says, Dev is a communist who should seek Canadian healthcare for obesity. Cruel, but accurate. He is a communist.
So, Arch, you want to hear about the book that I'm currently reading?
Is it by Mao?
It's a book called The Society of the Spectacle, and it was written by a guy named Guy Debord, who is a Marxist and a critical theorist.
Sounds like your kind of literature, yeah.
And he basically said that he wrote this back in the 1960s, right? So it's not like he's living in ancient times when talking about capitalism, but he basically said that with our modern forms of commodification and how entertainment has become more commodified, everything that has been directly lived has now become a mere representation of what it once was, rather than being the real thing. And we see this even now, right? We have people like living in VR headsets rather than actually going outside and or living on the internet rather than going outside and actually doing real things, you know? And I think one of the quotes is the decline of being into having and then having into merely appearing. So we've become a society of spectacle where a spectacle used to be let's say a holiday, right? Like Christmas. You know, Christmas became a spectacle because of the various relationships that were within Christmas and what made it meaningful. But we lost the relationships, and now we just have only the spectacle, and then the spectacle kind of gains a life of its own. So now it's just spectacle for spectacle's sake with no actual meaning behind it, right? And so even though this guy is a fucking communist, obviously, and we don't need to agree with everything he has to say, I mean, he seems to be correct about this. You know, like if you look at all of our entertainment, you know, like Star Wars, great example. Star Wars, the emotional journey within Star Wars, you know, the hero's journey, how Luke grows up and actually has like a character arc, and what it says about our own lives, and that's all gone now. And now it's just the spectacle of Star Wars. The meaning's been stripped out, and now you just have lightsabers, and you just have stormtroopers, and you have very bad stories as a result of it, right? So, even though he's a commie, he's clearly correct about this, and it's probably worth looking into.
I mean, that is true, but it's something we've known for quite a while, and we don't need a 1960s communist to tell us this. In fact, we should not have allowed him to be communist in the first place.
Well, he was French, so they weren't going to stop him.
There you go. Two parts of the same problem.
Yeah, so someone in the chat says the meaning was stripped by communists. He says it's capitalism, right? And in some way, it probably was capitalism. If you have idiots who are in these companies who control these properties, and they're just like, how can we maximize profit out of them? And they start putting out nonsense, hoping like there's no soul there, but they're following a formula that they think has worked before. It's not motivated by communism.
But then communism became the formula.
In some way, yeah.
Zero Firewater, the Harley Quinn show, Dev's favorite show, did Kite Man dirty, and he outside of the Joker were the only reason worth watching, and he outside of the Joker were the only reason worth watching. They did do Kite Man bad. They really did. My sympathy is for Kite Man, even though the Kite Man also is dumb and retarded, and I think they're giving him a spin-off show, which I imagine is going to be equally awful. I do need to do a video on the Harley Quinn show, though, on Nora Fries in particular. She reminds me a lot of a certain Frenchman who ruined things way back when. Marquis Dussard. He's not a communist, so I'm sure you haven't read him, Dev, but...
Name's familiar. I got to think about it.
Yeah, he's not a communist, so I wouldn't expect.
Was he... Okay, no. I remember this guy, yeah.
Searching communist database.
No, I was searching Wikipedia just to see if I remember who this was. Yeah, no, I get it. He was like the fucking like crazy sex guy.
Oh yeah, he was so much more
Yeah.
than merely crazy sex guy too. Like crazy sex guy is his first name. There's oh god. You know, he was the first true leftist, essentially.
Okay, no Bob in the chat says there it is. He blames capitalism. Hold on. Have you not watched Arch or V in the past, say, 6 months? V more than Arch, to be fair, but you guys have both laid the a lot of these problems at the feet of capitalism before. I like V is out here. He's talking about like big corporations all the fucking time. V is more of a communist than I am, for fuck's sake.
I don't know about that ever. Oh.
Absolutely. No. I've seen V come out with like pro-Palestine takes, pro-Ukraine takes. He's talking about the evils of like big business. He's talking about all this greed, and he's talking about like how the government like he has all the same takes as a communist. V is actually the communist in our friend group, Arch. It's not me.
He's clearly been hanging out with you too much. We're gonna have to re-educate him. Here's a complicated question. Mark Duchesne, well, if a woman can answer a question, here's one for you guys. Would you rather date with a slut or a whore, and you had to pay for the latter? Well, Dev?
No, hold on. Is the slut at least monogamous?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't really say, but I'm presuming this is a long-term relationship, and she's just really incredibly horny.
Yeah, because like if we're defining a whore as someone who's a prostitute and takes money, okay, and a slut as just someone who has a lot of sex, well then it really depends, right? Because if the slut cheats on you, then no, never with the slut. If the slut just has like a high body count but will be loyal to you while you're in the relationship with her, then obviously she's superior because you don't got to pay for it, right?
Yeah, see, I agree, because by definition the whore will cheat on you, whereas the slut, at least it's 50-50, right? It's up in the air.
Yep.
Yeah, no, definitely the slut, obviously. That one is not that hard. Mark James, Dick Tracy needs to make a return and make it modern day. It'll probably just be gay or trans at that point. Zedify was a
Oh my god.
Realistically,
Just real quick, over the fucking like capitalism, communism, corporatism thing, the chat has completely devolved to Sitch's law now, where 90% of the conversation is just about differences in meanings of words. God, there's a different. God. Okay, sorry, Arch. Continue. I'm getting fucking one guide by everyone somehow.
you're getting aggressed upon by chat again. Maybe if you treat chat nicely, they wouldn't hurt you so much.
Nah, their retardation would always hurt.
Dev, realistically, Flash would have murdered all of them instantly. They only survived due to plot, since all of them, including Batman, could easily murder them. Also, fat Amanda Waller is only Amanda Waller. I mean, yeah, that is the problem. They, as you said, they demonstrate that the Flash is dangerous, and they proceed to kill the Flash. Like, okay.
Yeah, so basically what they do is Wonder Woman is uncontrolled and running around opposing them, and they just view the Suicide Squad basically as street urchins. So they even ignore them when they're in the scene. Like they're just completely ignored and considered to be inconsequential, which then gives them enough time to, build a device that will counteract each of their powers, which is what they do. That's how they justify it, yeah.
As if I was a dev, you are literally retarded. Everyone knew this about Keffels. Also, Keffels is one of the reasons why Kiwi Farms got dropped by Cloudflare.
Here's the thing. You didn't know this about Keffels until Keffels came out about 4 or 5 months ago in a stream admitting all of this and showing a bunch of receipts that she thought would bolster her case against her ex, which it did, but also inadvertently proved that she was lying about Kiwi Farms, right? You didn't have this evidence until she gave it to you.
Maybe? I don't know. What is Keffels?
She is a trans streamer who's very far left and basically only got she only got any sort of recognition for being the person who took down Kiwi Farms.
By lying, yes. I know.
Yep.
You only really need to say trans left, and I would have gotten the rest of the story from that.
Heresy's the question.
Hold on.
Fire
Lilith is
the
trans
answer.
and left. You
Yep.
think she's a liar?
Sure, about something. We just haven't noticed yet.
Oh.
Marksman 117B. Sony has realized that Xbox's long game has always been PC, calls Microsoft. Sony is now panicking as their PC presence will be through Microsoft. Dun dun dun. Shout out Liang Yang. I heard on Kib's cast that in Japan they have to have PSN requirements due to Japanese law. If the international does not, then Japanese customers will sue, and Sony has expanded the no-buy list. Potentially, but the thing is, you're not going to be able to do anything legally like that because they're also cutting off parts of the European market. And remember, the whole thing about the EU is one market, right? If they start cutting off Lithuania, Estonia, whatever those useless countries are, from the rest of the EU market, there'll be a lawsuit there too. Like, it's going to be a lawsuit no matter what. They're always going to be in violation of some nation's laws. There is no set of international laws for the internet, which incidentally is a bit of a problem. And that's why all of the nations in question have simply just decided to ignore that problem and just pretend like it's not there. And it's worked out fairly well so far.
Here's the thing. Okay, so some people are asking about, like, no, we all knew that Keffel was lying before we had the information. Listen, if I were to make a Keffel's video and say, I have no proof, but just trust me, guys, because I feel that she's lying, that wouldn't go anywhere. If I were to make a Keffel's video with a whole bunch of receipts, everyone would be on that. Because I don't care how many patterns you recognize, everyone knows that having the receipts matters more than just how you feel about it.
But, Dev, I had no receipts whatsoever that they were going to make female Space Marines, and yet I called that for like 5 years ago.
Sure, yeah.
And now I'm here. And I'm fat, and I'm happy, and I'm extraordinarily pleased.
But here's the
female
thing.
custodies march down the street.
So here's the thing, though, right? If that never actually happened, you would basically that either you would have egg in your face because someone would pull it out and then laugh at you about it, or it would just be kind of quietly forgotten as one of those various predictions that gets forgotten, right?
Yeah, but the clue is, Dev, I was right. You know why I was right?
Sure. Because you noticed a pattern and then took a chance.
Big fucking brain, Dev. It's the same way that some people can predict the weather, okay? I'm that. I'm the weatherman. This is how Arch is always right on literally everything Arch has ever fucking said.
I don't know what that, Arch. I don't know what that one.
What about the...
Oh my god.
Example.
This person says,
Dev, just stop. Study.
Dev, just stop defending the indefensible. See, now that is specifically a political argument, right? Here's the thing, guys. All right, I'm gonna hurt a lot of you right now, but it is true. Okay, if it turns out that the left is correct on a topic, you should actually be left on that topic. Mind blowing, I know, but no, it's not about the fact that they're not on your team, therefore we can't give them any sort of space, anything. No. Your team should be truth. Your team should be truth, not being right wing. All right.
But what if I can predate the truth? What if I can be truth before truth is truth? What if I can be Isaac Newton?
Then you're gambling, and sometimes you'll be right.
Isaac Newton is like, I think there's this gravity thing. Like, and Dev sits there opposite. You're just guessing now, Isaac, as he tosses an apple up and down. You're just guessing, Isaac. What the fuck's wrong with you?
To be fair, Isaac Newton didn't actually understand gravity. It wasn't really explained until Einstein came along. I mean, Isaac Newton's description of gravity was fundamentally wrong.
Yeah,
he didn't have any. He had no knowledge of space time, and then how like space curved, and like he didn't get it.
But he noticed, Dev. He noticed the patterns.
No. Yes, he did notice the pattern. But here's the thing. No. Listen. This is actually a perfect example. He noticed the pattern, and he was closer to the truth than otherwise. Yes, but he was still ultimately wrong.
And he
was ultimately wrong, and somebody else had to come along and complete the idea, because Isaac Newton noticed the pattern and stopped. Einstein continued forward.
Yeah, he was.
That's the difference. No, he
hadn't
wasn't.
figured out all of the little nuances yet, but he was correct.
Hold on. Oh my God. Bug says, no, not wrong. Inaccurate. Guess what? They're the same fucking thing.
Chat, one of you must be able to draw. I want a picture of Fat Dev just tossing an apple up and down. Just
No,
looking at Sir Isaac
wait,
Newton.
wait,
You're
wait,
speculating, Sir
Arch.
Isaac. You're speculating.
Arch, you know that being inaccurate and being wrong are the same thing fundamentally. You know that, Arch, because you told me with the Verhoeven example. That's what you told me. Remember when I was like, listen, Verhoeven did a very poor critique of fascism with Starship Troopers, and you said, listen, it's not the thing. You know, it doesn't matter if the container on the juice carton says milk. There's juice inside of it. And it's like, fair enough.
Yeah, and that's a degree of wrong. Isaac was not a degree of wrong. Isaac was pretty much on point, but then somebody even bigger brain with more fancy gear showed up later and was like, actually, you were incorrect on the peculiarities. Einstein was a actually spelling mistake. Like, minor spelling mistake. That was Einstein.
True. But here's the thing. That's what a lot of this pattern recognition stuff ends up being, yeah.
Like, Dev, because here's the thing again. I said female space marines, and then they make female custodies. Technically, I was an iota off the truth, until a couple of years in the future, where I'll be dead on the truth. Again, of course.
Yep. No, I agree with you on this, yeah.
But that's good enough, Dev. The pattern was good enough.
The pattern was good. No, I agree with you. Just listen, you're not getting any argument from me. The pattern was good enough, right?
You could have fooled me.
No, you're actually not. Here's what I'm saying, Arch. Here's what I'm saying, okay? What I'm saying is, when you made the video that pulled out the actual female custodies, okay? And you said, look what they're writing, look what they're doing, look at these statements, look at the receipts that I have. That was always going to be a more compelling narrative than I think they're going to do this.
Sure, but
because now you have something.
I already had the truth. The truth already existed within my mind. I was just waiting for the rest of the universe to catch up.
Well, yes, but if you spoke the truth within your mind without the universe catching up, it would not be as compelling a story.
I don't know. I think it makes it more compelling a story. Because then I can look back on it a year later and go,
Yeah, but that's only later. Okay, listen. The reason that it's not compelling is because of all the various predictions that happen that don't come to pass. That
I
everyone
don't have
forgets
one of
about.
any of those.
I'm sure you do. Everyone has one of those, yeah.
Find one.
Here.
Give me a source.
Here, hold on. It wasn't you, Arch. It wasn't you, right? It wasn't you. So I'm not pinning this on you. But there are people out there, like the COVID lockdown was a great example, right? I saw people saying that we were going to be locked down for the rest of our lives. All right? Now that was a prediction that was wrong. And we all know it was wrong. And it was retarded to make that prediction. However, we don't go back and be like, well, that was stupid. I mean, I do, because I'm intellectually honest. But everyone who made that prediction, they're all very quiet now. They're not talking about what they said 3 years ago, right? So this is what I mean, is that it's very easy to make a prediction, and then it comes true, and then, be like V and be like, how did I know? However, no one ever remembers when they were incorrect. And in fact, whenever someone brings up, hey, you were wrong about this, they just kind of shrug their shoulders. They're just like, oh.
I don't know, Dev. I'm still waiting for that peer-reviewed paper of yours.
Okay, I'll do one.
Sean King, I just got my nephew into Warhammer, now GW's going woke. I don't want to boycott as I know people who run the local Warhammer shop. Well, if you know where they live, there are other ways. Sven Algren, they need to read Snow Crash, in that the mob basically took over pizza delivery, and their couriers basically use tanks on wheels, just add drones. Well, there you go. Podviskoy, Arch, how do I join your Discord? Is it even public? No. But if you ask me for a Discord link, I might give you one. Raven's been a member for 4 months. Hail Archley, love your voice over on the coffin. Also, Ghost of Tsushima, new topic with PSN accounts on Steam. Yep, we did touch upon that. Sony will not surrender. Sony will come back, and it will affect Helldivers eventually. Just gonna need to be a little bit less popular first. Mercenaries 21, Dev, did you see Razorfist's video on ballots on BitChute or Ramble yet because of how information it is he had to be yeeted or else. I didn't even
So
know
here's
he
the
had
thing.
made a video on it.
You cut out during that super chat for me, but I remember exactly what that super chat was. It was asking if I'd seen Razorfist's video on the ballot thing, right? From last week.
Yep.
Yeah, I still can't find it. If you guys have a link for it, drop it off with me or Arch and I'll take a look at it, okay? I couldn't find it, unfortunately.
Sujad, The Island with Bear Grylls, Man vs. Woman season on YouTube. It's hilarious how badly the women do. Fascinating case study for male superiority. Now, that one's actually interesting because, yes, the first season, yes, it was. It was a studied example of how poorly women do in a survival environment. And the crew had to give them all kinds of special benefits. But I will point out, there hasn't been a season like that since where this has been brought up. Now, I don't know if that's just because nobody's covered it, or because if women started doing better on the show after that, like they got brought on smarter people or something. So I shall take the deviant position of, no position on that one, and that it could just have been a remarkably stupid batch of females.
Oh my God, there's when I coined dev derangement syndrome, here's what I mean. There's a guy in the chat who's saying that I just don't want to see Razorfist video. Send it to me, you fuck. Oh my God.
Maybe it's in your DM, Steve. Have you checked? maybe
Send it
that's
to me right
what...
now.
Okay.
Send it, you know what, I'm now watching my DMs like a fucking hawk. DM me right now. Go.
If
go,
it's
go,
in
go, go,
the
go, go,
DM that Artemis sent you, you're gonna look a little bit foolish right now.
Yeah, but I don't answer Artemis's DMs because he's always schizoing out in there.
But open it. Is there a Racer Fist video in there?
I will wait for Artemis's. No, I want the guy who says that I just don't want to see it. I want him to send it to me. Give it to me.
Subject Noble. Must be easy to be dev. Ignorant. Canadian. Gay. See, the problem is, Dev, you are gay, so that makes the insult better. Artforce. How'd Bat Rob be homophobic? Not like the odd overlap between Stonewall and Nambla was ever a huge secret. I mean, yeah, no, it would probably be empowering. Just everybody else would find it creepy. Subject Noble. Terry McGinnis is the true next generation Batman. Never liked Terry. Never liked Terry. I always found he complained and bitched and whined too much. Never liked Terry. He's not bad, but I never liked Terry. Decent. Dev, thanks for the memes about democracy and the gays. Oh. Dev is sending
Oh, which one was this? Let me think about it.
McWall 11.
Oh, yeah. I remember this now. So I was basically making the argument on my stream before this one that like democracy isn't good or evil, right? It is simply what the larger population wants to do. And that can be good or bad, right? So, and I was making another lockdown point, right? When people wanted lockdowns, there were lockdowns. People didn't want them, there were no lockdowns, right? And then I said, like, if your population truly does just want to kill all the gays, then you will kill all the gays. If they don't want to, if they want to put all the gays center stage, then you'll do that too, right? Democracy is not a moral system. It's just a way of decision making. So when people say like democracy's broken, well, why is it broken? Because I got a result I didn't like. That's not an argument. That's just stupidity.
I don't know, Dev. If it's a point I don't like, it might be an argument.
Yeah.
Service guarantees citizenship.
At Dev, today I saw generic CA communist that they call common sense, terrifying the virus spread 20-40 minutes on LTT1 show. China.
Wait, the LTT WAN show? You mean Linus Tech Tips?
Probably. I don't know. How should I know?
Maybe send me a screenshot of that super chat if you don't mind.
I'll
see what he's talking about.
Copy it, like there.
Oh. I saw generic Canadian communism that they call common sense, terrifying the virus spreads. 20 to 40 minutes in the recent LTT WAN show. I'll take a look at it. Okay, thank you.
TK, I don't know if Arch is just behind on Super Chats or if I missed it, but once again, Dev the obese communist should seek Canadian healthcare. We did get to it eventually.
Why should I seek Canadian healthcare?
Oh, to become healthy, of course.
Yeah.
See the Firewater. Also, Archday, I was consistent on the Helldivers 2 topic. Now for the Pride Capes and for the Deviant symbols. I hope they add Pride Capes. I really do. I really do. Be tremendous content.
Pride capes. Oh my god.
J.D. Sickman. The Princess Bride. The name alone kept me from watching it until sometimes in the 2000s, and 13th Warrior had Beowulf as a supporting character. Probably did. The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride. I don't think I watched that. The Princess Bride. Oh, that looks terrible. Oh, wait, no, that's one.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, that's one.
Service
That's the one.
guarantees
Yeah, that's an
citizenship.
awful name for that. No, that has nothing to do with that at all. God help me. That's an
Yeah.
awful name, yeah.
It's a bad name, but it's a good movie, Princess Bride.
Also, chat, you should watch The Mummy.
Service
The Mummy
guarantees
is
citizenship.
probably one of the best movies ever made. Straight up.
So it's time for me to go. It's finally time.
Have
Dinner's
fun
ready.
in the eating hour, Dev.
Real quick though, $2 just came in. Sorry, voice to text. Dev, favorite food for both of you? For me, it's sushi. How about you, Arch?
Well, not dead rotten fish, that's for sure. Pizza, of
What's
course.
your favorite food?
Like
Pizza?
normal people, yeah.
To be fair, when I was a kid, it was pizza for sure, and pizza's still my second favorite. But sushi is 100% number one. I fucking love sushi.
Rotten fish.
So good.
This is how I know you don't
So
live near
good,
the
man.
sea.
It's so good, man. Okay, I'll see you later. See you next week.
See you, Dev.
Goodbye, chat. It's okay. Even though you're wrong a lot, I still like you. Even those of you who hate me, I still like you. Okay. The dev is forgiving.